something.
Oh, perfect. I can hear you now.
Sweet.
Okay, I
Right.
guess we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Correct. Okay? Thank you. Bye. Oh, that was rough.
Is it an order in regards to needs interpreter? We're going to have to take them out of order.
No, they in order.
Okay, perfect. All right, can I please have the state attorney's office, if you can just please state your name again for the record.
Yes, ma'am. Stephanie Griffin for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Stephen Houston, Public Defender's Office,
I'm sorry, what is your last name again?
Houston.
Thank you. PTR?
Officer Davis with pretrial services.
I'm sorry. And our interpreter today is who?
Alan Figueroa, State Certified Spanish Code Interpreter, Your Honor.
And have you been sworn for today?
Not yet.
Madam Clerk?
Do you like to interpret from Spanish to English, English to Spanish, the testimonies you will receive today?
I do, Alan Figueroa, State Certified Spanish Code Interpreter.
Our first person is Jessica Geraldine Hawat. Right. Your case number is 2020 MM6291. It has one count of battery dating violence.
Señora, el primer caso es el 20MM6291 por agresión física.
Do you find probable cause for this offense?
Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
You don't have a victim present.
Can you order?
La-
What's the last name on this one? I'm sorry.
It's Hawat.
Your Honor, defendant does qualify for pretrial release.
Okay, thank you.
Ella reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional. Bien, gracias.
I do find probable cause for battery dating violence.
Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad para la acusación de violencia doméstica
Your bond is
en
set,
agresión física.
your bond is set at $500.
Se fijará la fianza en $500.
This is going to be with PTR.
Será con las condiciones de libertad provisional.
The conditions of your PTR is not to have any contact with a listed victim.
Se le prohíbe el contacto con la supuesta víctima.
You all have to maintain separate residences.
Debe buscarse otro paradero.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de ningún tipo de arma o arma de fuego.
Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
¿Algo más, Fiscalía? No, su señoría. Bien, gracias.
Next person is Michael Anthony Melendez Silva. Is that not our next person? Silva? Oh, okay. Yes, I am appointing the public defender's office on all cases. All right. Mr. Silva, I have case 2020 CF 10412.
Señor, este es el número de caso 20CF10412.
It is operating a vehicle while driver's license revoked.
La acusación es por conducir un vehículo con la licencia revocada.
I do find probable cause for this offense.
Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
Your bond will be stayed at $2,500.
Se fijará la fianza en $2,500.
Officer Davis, I do have a question for you.
Tengo una pregunta para usted, oficial Davis.
So, The possession of controlled substance, this is just a PTD referral, so is he,
It's an open case. It's considered as an open case.
okay,
So he's, out on pretrial diversion.
okay.
La acusación por las sustancias reguladas que está para el proceso alternativo al proceso penal, eso es un caso ya que está en el programa, eso es un caso abierto todavía que fue referido al programa alternativo.
So we don't have any additional cases or any open cases for him?
Just the 2020 CF case 5269, and the failure to appear was considered a out on bond case until they added on as an endorsed bond.
Solamente el caso 20CF5269 y el caso por falta de comparecencia que fue añadida.
I won't take any action on the 2020 CF 5269.
Okay. No tomaré ninguna decisión con respecto al caso 20CF5269.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Oh, I see it. I see this one. No, I won't take any action.
Are you gonna leave the 2019 CT case as $1,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Jesse Rojas? Mr. Rojas, I have case 2020 CF 1041880.
Señor, este es el número de caso 20CF10418.
It has 4 separate charges.
Son 4 cargos por separado.
The first one is possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver.
El primero es de tenencia de cannabis con la intención de vender o distribuir.
I do find probable cause.
Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
Your bond is going to be set, actually it's going to remain at $1,000.
La fianza se mantendrá en $1,000.
Count 2, possession of cannabis.
Segundo cargo es por tenencia de cannabis.
I do find probable cause. Your bond's going to be stayed at $150.
Determino que existe indicio de criminalidad. La fianza se mantendrá en $150.
Count 3 is possession of, this is a tough one. Let's see if I can say it. The tetrahydrocannabinol. Either way, there's no PC on this count. This is, this is quite a long one. I'm probably
tercero por
saying it
tenencia de una-
incorrectly.
El tercero es por tenencia de una sustancia regulada.
Being that I found no PC is going to be RR'd on that count.
Ya que no haya indicio de criminalidad, se emitirá la libertad bajo palabra en ese caso.
Count 4 is possession of drug paraphernalia.
El cuarto cargo es por tenencia de adminículos de droga.
Do you find probable cause?
Determino que existe indicio de criminalidad.
Your bond's going to be stayed at $100.
Se mantendrá la fianza en $100.
You have an open case. It's a petty theft out of Osceola County.
Usted tiene un caso pendiente de hurto de menor cuantía del condado de Osceola.
Is he out on bond on the Osceola case?
Yes.
All right, gonna
¿Él se
go-
encuentra en libertad bajo fianza en el caso de Osceola? Sí.
The one, the thing that I want to talk to you, and the weed that they put me, yesterday, that wasn't mine.
Okay, don't tell me anything about your case. You are being recorded, so anything you say can and will be used against you. So any
Señor
issues
Rodríguez.
that you think you may have with your case, you have a defense attorney, so just tell them everything that you know so they can properly defend your case, okay?
Señor, no
Public
diga
Defender's
nada
Office
sobre su
appointed to this
caso.
case, ma'am.
No diga nada sobre su caso. Está siendo grabado y todo lo que diga puede ser usado en su contra. Usted tiene un abogado defensor que se designará, así que cualquier duda o pregunta, explíqueselo a su abogado para que él pueda preparar su defensa.
In regards to the Osceola case, which is 2020 MM966, that's the petty theft, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and revoke that bond and set it at 0.
Bien, con respecto al caso 20MM966 de hurto menor cuantía del caso Osceola, se revocará la fianza y no se emitirá fianza en ese caso.
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right, we have Hugo Cordova Rodriguez. Are you Mr. Cordova Rodriguez?
¿Es usted el señor Córdoba Rodríguez? Yes.
I have an out-of-county warrant from Brevard County.
Hay una orden de arresto del condado Brevard.
Your bond is set at $2,000.
La fianza se ha fijado en $2,000.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
Julio Montiel Bristino.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. On the past defendant for Cordova, he did have an ICE detainer. I had to put that on record.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so you Julio Montiel Bristino.
¿Es usted Julio Montegrisino? Yes.
This is case 2020 CF 10419.
Este es el número de caso 20CF 10419
Has 4 separate offenses.
por 4 cargos.
First counts possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver.
El primer cargo es por tenencia de cannabis con la intención de vender o distribuir.
I do find probable cause.
Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
The bond will remain at $1,000.
La fianza se mantendrá en $1,000.
Count 2 possession of cannabis. I do find probable cause.
El segundo es por tenencia de cannabis. Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
Your bond will be set at $150.
Se fijará la fianza en $150.
Count 3, I do not find probable cause. You will be ROR'd.
Para el tercer cargo no hay indicios de criminalidad. Se emitirá la libertad bajo palabra.
Count 4 is possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. Your bond will remain at $100.
El cuarto cargo es por tenencia de minúsculos de droga. Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad y se emitirá la fianza en $100.
I did not say this before, but you're not to have any contacts with your co-defendant. Do you understand?
No se lo había dicho antes, pero se le prohíbe el contacto con el coacusado. ¿Lo ha entendido?
All right.
Yes.
All right, that's Mr. Jose Rojas. For the record.
Ese es el señor José Rojas.
Zacayo Roberto Nascimento. Right, so we have case 2020 CT 2582.
Señor, es el número de caso 20CT2582
It is a failure to appear.
por una falta de comparecencia.
Your Honor,
Oh,
I believe this defendant speaks Portuguese.
oh, okay, well, never mind, just 1 second.
Just call him and then I'm gonna call the language line for the,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
no, it's fine.
We have
We'll
one
call
more-
him back once we get a Portuguese.
That's the last name.
Okay. I'm looking for Mr. Wilfredo Torres. Okay. Mr. Torres, I have case 2020 MM6277. It's 1 count of.
Señor,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Señor Torres, ese es el caso 20MM6277.
It's 1 count of trespass on property after warning.
Es un cargo de entrada ilícita en propiedad después de ser advertido.
I do find probable cause for this offense.
Determino que existe indicio de criminalidad.
Qualifies for straight pretrial release, Officer Davis.
For Wilfredo Torres?
Yes.
No, ma'am, he currently has an open case. He's out on RR.
¿Él reúne requisitos para la libertad provisional? No, su señoría. Él tiene un caso abierto por el que se encuentra en libertad bajo palabra.
Okay, that's Orange County case.
Yes, ma'am.
¿Un condado, el condado Orange?
You need
Sí.
the case number?
No, I think I have it. It's the 2020 MM 5327.
Yes.
Okay.
¿Es el número de caso 20MM5327? Sí.
On this new offense, I'm going to go ahead and reduce your bond to $250.
Bien, señora. Ante este nuevo cargo se reducirá la fianza a $250.
Please do not return to 101 North Rosalind Ave.
No regrese al 101 North Rosalind Avenue.
In regards to the Orange County case, which is 2020 MM 5327AO,
Y con respecto al caso del condado Orange 20MM5327,
I'm not going to take any action.
no tomaré ninguna acción al respecto.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
I don't believe we have any additional interpreters who need the Spanish language. So,
Not a problem, Your Honor.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend.
You too.
And Your Honor, is the public defender being appointed on all of these cases?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, this is a court proceeding. We just need you to translate to the defendant what the judge is saying. Have you been sworn in today? Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to interpret the Portuguese and English and Portuguese, the testimony you're going to receive today? Okay, please hold.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. This is your Portuguese interpreter on the line. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, can you please state your first and last name for the record?
Podemos ter seu nome e sobrenome para os recordes.
Well, I'm sorry, that was for you, Madam Interpreter. If you can please state your name for the record.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, Andrea Nazari.
Thank you. The first case, and I believe the only case we have, is Mr. Caio Nascimento. His case number is 2020 CT 2582.
Okay.
It's a failure to appear.
Sorry?
You can go ahead and start interpreting.
Ah, ok. Yeah, então o primeiro caso é do senhor Caio Nascimento. And what did you say after this is for Caio Nascimento? You said something that failed to appearing. I didn't get that sentence.
Yes, if you need the case number, it's case number 2020 CT 2582. And it's on a failure to appear for operating a motor vehicle without a driver's license.
Então, caso 2020, CT 2582, por né, faltar em conduzir né, com uma carteira de motorista, né, estar conduzindo, carregando uma carteira de motorista.
Bond has been set at $250.
Foi feita uma fiança, então, de $250.
He has a second case, which is 2020 CT 1020.
So it cut it off after 2020. What did it say? What were the letters?
Sure, it's 2020 CT 1020.
Ok. Segundo caso, então, de número 2020, CT 1020.
And that's also for a no valid driver's license.
Esse também é por não ter uma carteira de motorista válida.
I do find probable cause for this offense.
Com um custo aproximado né, de defesa.
Your bond is set at $500.
Uma fiança de $500.
Please do not drive.
Por favor, não dirija, não conduza.
Great, thank you.
Obrigada.
Madam Interpreter, I don't think we need your services anymore, so thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Your Honor. If nothing else, thank you for using our service.
Rasheed Giles. Defense, would you like me to waive the formal reading of the charges?
Just one moment, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Giles, your case number is 2020 CF 10398. I have provisionally appointed the Public Defender's Office to your case. I did review the charging affidavit, and I do find probable cause for your offense. Your bond is going to be set at $5,000 at this time. You're not to have any contact with any minor children. So any children under the age of 18, you're not to return to the area of 2032 Veranda Circle in Orange County. Any additional conditions, Dave?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, the $5,000 is two separate cases, three
Okay.
separate cases.
Three? All right, so
Yeah.
just 1 second. Oh, they charge it for each, okay. Oh. For case 2020 CF 10397, your attorney has waived the formal reading of the charges. I did review the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause. Your bond's gonna be set at $5,000 with the same conditions of not having any contact with any minor children, and not returning to the scene of the offense. In regards to case 2020 MM6279, I will also waive the formal reading of these charges. It's just one count. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is going to remain at $500 at this time. Thank you. Charles Lee. Right, Mr. Lee, you have, since you have two cases. The first one is 2020 CF 10387. Has two counts. The first one is burglary of occupied dwelling. do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is set at $5,000. For count 2, the aggravated stalking, domestic violence, I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is set at $10,000. You're not to return to the scene of the offense, and you're not to have any contact with the listed victims. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. For your second case, it's 2020 CF 10407. It's a felony battery. I did review the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is going to remain at $2,500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim in this case. You have, looks like it's a burg dwelling and stalking. Let me see what county's out of. Is this Orange County?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the case is 2020 CF 10128A. I am going to revoke your bond on this case and set it at 0 due to the new arrest.
Your Honor.
I was looking at I think the wrong name. I saw it as Charles Lee. I had him under my docket as Charles Roja. Is that correct?
I have Roja as the middle name and Lee
Okay.
as the last name.
In regards to, I do have a probable cause argument for the felony battery, great bodily harm. If you address that one.
Okay.
But that one, the list of injuries to the alleged victim were various cuts and bruises and bleeding, but there was no great bodily harm listed. There was no serious injury described in the affidavit. So I would ask that we set that bond at $500 as a typical battery rather than a aggravated battery or felony battery.
Just 1 second. Safety wish to be heard.
Your Honor, there was a chokehold in this case. There's hematomas, there's abrasions to the face, forearm, knees. There's bruising, there's pictures of all of the injuries, so I ask that it stay as to what you had said it.
I think there's enough to find probable cause for a felony battery. I'm gonna keep the bond at $2,500. I was addressing an Orange County case that he's out on bond for.
Yes, Your Honor. On the out on bond cases, the bondsmen came off his bond, so they were added as regular charges, and they do have bonds.
Okay, so I won't take any action. Are you Judson Bedreen?
I'm Joseph Esau, Your Honor.
I'm sorry,
My name is Joseph Esau.
okay.
Judson Jeffrey refused, Your Honor.
I have a lot of paperwork, so your paperwork may have been paper clipped to last case by mistake, so let's see. This is paperwork. Oh. Thank you. All right, Joseph Esau. So your case number is 2020 MM424. It has 2 counts. The first count is a battery. Second count is criminal mischief. I did review the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause as to the battery and criminal mischief. Bonds will remain at $500 for each count. You're not to contact the listed victim. You're not to return to the Circle K located at 2115 South Orange Blossom Trail.
Your Honor,
Sir, I advise you not to speak as to your case at this point.
I'd like to say that I need to get a public defender because the
I've
girl-
appointed one to you,
the
sir.
girl hit me
Yes, sir,
first,
sir,
and
sir.
Don't say
sir.
anything else about your case. You
I'm
have
public
an
defender.
attorney,
Been
so you
appointed
can
your case.
contact
We'll
him.
soon. Thank you. Thank you. You're good, sir.
All right, now, officer, you're saying that, Judson Battering has refused?
Yes, sir.
Right. Defense, gonna take his refusal as a waiver of his appearance.
Yes, Your Honor.
I will provisionally appoint the public defender's office. He has quite a few out-of-county warrants. So the first one, let's see, it's in reference to 2017 CF 856. Bond has been issued and it is set for $500. 2017 CF 875. Bond has been issued at $500. 2017 CF 90. Bond has been set at $500. 2017 CF 891. Bond has been set at $500. 2017 CF 615. Bond has been issued at $500. 2017 CF 896. Bond has been issued at $500. Rebecca Kazub? No, that is not
Who we got?
Rebecca. Is it? Hi, can you please state your first and last name for me?
Christopher Bunbury.
I'm sorry?
Christopher Bunbury.
She's mental health. Babysitting for mental health.
And then listen.
Waiving, okay. You can go ahead and waive, Ms. Gazad's appearance at this time. Her case is 2020 CF 9732. It's 1 count of possession of methamphetamine, which I do find probable cause. Bond shall remain at $1,000. Count 2 is possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause, and the bonds will remain at $150. Right, Mr. Christopher Bunbury. It's a violation of probation warrants out of Orange County. Bond is currently set at 0 this time. I have appointed the public defender's office on your behalf, so they may file a motion for bond in front of the judge that is actually set in front of, okay? All right, thank you. Fausto Colon.
Yes.
Mr. Fausto, I have 1 count of aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence. Your case number is 2020 CF 6349. I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $10,000. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You're not to return to her residence. You are to maintain separate residences. You are to surrender all weapons and firearms. Upon your release, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything else, Dave?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Hector Lefebvre. Good afternoon. I have a charging affidavit for 2020 CF 10417. 1 count of battery by strangulation, domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit and I do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond's gonna be set at $5,000. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, there's a victim, hold on. Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Can you please state your first and last name for me?
Alondra Estrada.
Right. You are the listed victim on my charging affidavit. If you can raise your right hand, I'm gonna have Madam Clerk swear you in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
I just reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find probable cause for the arrest. I want to speak to you about having contact with the defendant. Currently, there's no contact in place. So do you wish to have contact with him?
I just, for my daughter's sake, if he wants to have contact, I'm willing to go ahead and remain in contact with him.
Is there a third party that you could perhaps take your daughter to without having any contact with him and have that person, I guess, have supervised contact with
His
your daughter?
sister, Tamara.
I'm sorry?
His sister, Tamara.
Tamara, what is Tamara's last name?
Lefebvre as well.
Okay. So if I do go ahead and have the third-party contact, as far as your child is concerned, he's still not to have any contact with you. Is that something that you wish to have?
I mean, I do want at least phone contact. I don't feel any kind of unsafe towards him to have anything other than aside from phone contact.
Do you understand that no contact order was in place in order to protect you?
Correct.
Okay. So if I was to remove the no contact order, there's no way that I can protect you. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Is there anyone forcing you to come here today and tell me that you wish to have contact with him?
No, Your Honor.
Now, let's just say I do allow him to have contact with you. Maybe this happens again. What are you going to do?
I just won't have zero contact at all.
Okay. Safe?
Your Honor, I still request that there be no contact. I will say that the children were there when this occurred. So if you find that they are to have contact, I request that they are not to have contact in the presence of children.
Spence?
I have one moment, Your Honor. Our DCF did investigate the incident, so there's no issues with the children. No, the children were not injured in this incident at all, so I don't think that's a necessary condition.
Thank you. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a no contact order in place for Alondra Estrada. In regards to the children, I will order that Tamara Lefebvre, if I'm saying that correctly, be the third party who was going to pick up the child and I guess deliver the child to this defendant so he can have some type of contact with his daughter. But sir, you are not to have any contact with her. So do not call her, okay? Do not send her any direct messages through any social media, okay? Don't even talk to your sister and, on your behalf in order to talk to her. Do you understand? Okay, so your sister is going to bring your child to you and that is it. Do you understand? All right. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you all are to maintain separate residences, okay? All right, thank you.
Your Honor, are you gonna speak on his out on bond case?
Yes. Just 1 second. Let me see. This is in reference to the Orange County case, the 2020 CF 3019.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So this is for a armed burglary of a dwelling with explosives or dangerous weapon. And it looks like you have another count, which is the petty theft. You were out on bond on this case when you picked up this bat by strangulation. Based upon the new offense, I'm gonna have to revoke your bond and set you at 0 this time. Okay, now you do have a public defender assigned to you. They can always ask the judge that has your case, your armed bird case, to reinstate the bond, okay? But right now it's set at 0.
What's the bond on the new case?
5,000. Mr. Juan Naranjo.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
have two cases. First one is 2020 CF 9789.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a violation of no contact order. The
Yes,
judge
Your
on that case has issued a zero bond. Your second case is 2020 MM 5786. It's a violation of condition of pretrial release, and the bond is set at $2,500. I have appointed the public defender's office to your case, okay? All right, thank you.
I have, Your Honor, I have two no contact orders. I just wanted to know because my
Just don't speak about the jury. Just regards to.
Already on them because they're violations. But, I mean, if you need me to state it on the record, yes, there is no contact for both of those cases. There's no contact orders on both of those cases, so he needs to go ahead and sign. Yeah, the MM case as well as the CF case.
And Your Honor, just to confirm the bonds on those, it's no bond on count one, contempt of court, and $500 bond on the violation of pretrial release conditions? Is that what it was?
The CF case was a zero bond, and then the MM case was, it's not in front of me anymore. 2,500.
Okay, thank you.
I live in Philadelphia and I started school at Temple University.
I'm sorry?
I just started law school at Temple University last Monday.
You started law school?
Yeah, Temple University in Philadelphia. I don't live here.
Okay.
I just flew in to return my profession because I went under the records of Orange County and I saw the two warrants, so I figured I'd come in.
Okay. Well, you have the assistance of the public defender's office, so they perhaps can file a bond motion on that felony case for you, okay? So you can have your bonds reinstated, but currently, right now, the judge has issued a zero bond. Nicole Coker. Coker, your case is 2020 MM 755. One count of battery, domestic violence.
Your Honor, the victim is here as well on this case.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you please state your first and last name for me?
Ronald Herbis.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Gonna have Madam Clerk swear you in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. So Ms. Coker was arrested for one count of battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause for the arrest. My questions to you is in regards to the no contact order. I wasn't sure if you were able to hear the last young lady.
Correct. No contact, Your Honor.
Okay, you do not wish to have
No,
any
I do
contact
not want
with
any
her?
contact.
Okay.
The only thing is because we have children involved, I would like to see if the state could set up a third party.
Do you have a third party in mind?
I don't have it at this time, but if the state could assign somebody, any agency that can help me with that, but I don't want any contact other than through a third party for the children.
Okay. I don't believe the state attorney's office has any personnel that can assist with third-party contact at this time. I would assume DCF is involved?
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't know.
Supposed to be, let's see. DCF was notified. So if you haven't heard from them now, you will this week, and perhaps they can set up a third party for you in order for the defendant to see the children. But at this time, without having any additional information, it's just going to be a solid no contact, okay?
Correct. Your Honor, is the defendant also has my credit cards and my IDs and some files. What do I need to do to get all that in before I leave?
I can't give you any additional advice in regards to that. My job today is just to review the charging affidavit for a criminal offense. I would encourage you to contact an attorney. Perhaps he or she can be of some assistance to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You're not to return to the residence. If you have any personal items there, I will give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal property. You are
Your
to
Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. That's her residence. I've left already.
You left already?
I've read. Her name is on the lease.
Okay.
She should be allowed to go back to her home.
Thank you for letting me know. So,
Yes.
go ahead and strike that. I will allow her to return to her residence. However, I will order that they are to maintain separate residences.
Correct. I've already got my stuff. I've left already and packed out. The only thing I would also is it possible on the no contact she's been contacting my family and my former spouse.
I will explain to her what no contact means.
Okay.
Okay? No weapons, no firearms. Now, Ms. Coker, no contact means no direct and indirect. So indirect meaning that you cannot call any family members on your behalf in order to speak to him. You can't call any people like his spouse in order to talk about him or to make sure that he knows that you are calling, wanting to know about what he's doing. Do you understand?
Understand.
Okay.
Can I say a word?
I don't want you to say
Ma'am.
anything about your case because anything that you say will and can be used against you, so I would advise you not to do that. But I just wanted to warn you because a lot of people think that no contact just means a direct. It also means indirect contact, so no contacting family members or anything like that.
Got you.
You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have to put on record that she does qualify for pretrial release.
Okay, thank you. It's going to be bonds with PTR conditions in regards to having the no contact, no possession of weapons and firearms and things like that.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Bonds with PTR. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
John Melise Haddock,
Ma'am, she's medical, she's quarantined,
medical.
and she's in a quarantine room.
Okay, I am going to waive her appearance.
Your Honor, I think the victim is here for the Haddock case. I'm not sure if you want to have him heard.
Okay, 1 second. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your first and last name?
Maxwell Carminati.
Okay, the defendant's not present today, so I've waived her appearance. Do you wish to be heard in regards to the no contact order?
Well, I actually wanted to say that this is actually kind of a misunderstanding.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me go ahead and place you under oath.
Here's Ryan. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. I don't want you to tell me anything about the facts of the case, okay? I just want you to tell me about how do you feel about having contact with her?
I want to have contact.
You want to have
I don't feel
contact?
threatened at all.
I'm sorry?
I do not feel threatened or anything at all.
Okay, so you do not feel threatened. Is anyone forcing you to come in here today and tell me
No.
that you wish to have contact with her?
No. This is how I feel.
Okay. Say, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense?
There.
What I will do is I'll order no hostile contact, okay?
Yeah.
That means that you
okay.
all can have contact, but she is not to yell at you, be aggressive towards you. You all are to be civil, okay?
That's the thing that this is actually I want to say an exaggeration of what actually happened. What happened at home was not domestic violence.
Okay.
She is not
Don't say
guilty
anything
for that.
else.
Say that again.
All right.
Your Honor, she does qualify for pretrial release.
All right, so it's gonna be bonds with PTR conditions. The bond set at $500. PTR conditions, no hostile contact with the listed victim. She's not to possess any weapons or firearms.
So that's bond and PTR?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Andre Masari or Massary?
Yes.
I don't see anyone out there. Great. So your case is 2020 MM6292. It's 1 count of battery, domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause for this offense. Qualifies for PTR as well?
No, Your Honor.
He does not, okay. Alright, your bond's gonna be set at $500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You're to maintain separate residences from her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Terrell Moore? Mr. Moore, your case number is 2020 MM6288, 1 count of battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond's gonna be set at $500. Do you have PTR conditions, or does he qualify?
No, Your Honor, he did not qualify.
Okay.
I'm sorry, miss, what was that? I didn't
$500 bond.
So your bond is set at $500, but you're not to have any contact with the listed victim.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you are to maintain a separate residence from her. Do you
Yes.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Samuel Sereno Osario.
He's available, Your Honor. He's in quarantine.
I'm gonna waive his appearance at this time. Case number is 2020 MM6275. It is 1 count of domestic violence. Do find probable cause for the offense. Bond's gonna be set at $500. This is with his brother. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the whole residence thing, but I'll go ahead and enter an order of no contact. And also to maintain separate residences, no weapons, no firearms.
Your Honor, the victim contacted a supervisor in pretrial services, and he asked if he could be contacted via telephone. An email was sent to your JA asking if it could be done, but I don't think a response was given.
Right now, I'll just do a no contact order.
Okay.
He has the assistance of public defender. The victim can always reach out to defense or even the state and request a motion to change the no contact to no hostile or contact.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Dominique Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Mr. Williams, of 1 count of battery domestic violence. Your case number is 2020 MM6278. I did review the charging affidavit. I don't see a victim present. I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500. You're not to have any contact with a listed victim at this time. You are to maintain separate residences. Separate.
Yeah.
Okay. No weapons, no firearms. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What else? Okay, thank you. Could you- Sign or just write my name? Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. For the, I can say something now?
If it's facts or anything about your case, I would encourage you not to.
No. I'm sorry with that. For the bond, can I pay like a 10%, right?
Yes.
To get in touch with bonds, and they can handle it for you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
to you.
Have a good day.
Levon Dixon. Oh, he bonded? Great. Is it Vicendine Henry? Is Henry the last name?
Yes, it's Henry.
Henry, okay. All right, Henry, Mr. Henry, I have one case, it's 2020 CF 10415. It's one count of possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is gonna be stayed at $1,000. Now, you were out on ROR for case 2020 CF 2954, which is a delivery of cocaine. So I'm gonna,
I went to court on that on the 4th of.
I'm sure you did, but because we have this new offense now, I have to revoke the ROR. So bond's gonna be set at 0 on that case. You have the assistance of the public defender, so if you wish to file a bond motion, they can do so, okay?
Your Honor, he does have an another case
Okay. Which,
for
did I miss?
20. Yeah.
The 20 MO 875.
Oh, I did miss that one, okay.
You ever speak this ordinance case, could ask for ROR on that one.
Just 1 second, because I really did miss it. Okay. All right, so 2020 MO 875, one count of open container for alcoholic beverage. I did review the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause. I will go ahead and ROR on this one. Harley Huey.
Yes, ma'am.
I have case 2020 CF 8063. It's an arrest warrant for fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens. I do find probable cause.
In your Honor, he does qualify for pretrial release.
All right, thank you. Okay, your bond is gonna be set at $2,500 at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Deontay Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 2020 CF 10389. There's an arrest warrant. So probable cause has been found on these 3 separate offenses. The first one is arms burglary of conveyance with a firearm. Your bond's gonna be set at $20,000. Count 2 is conspiracy to commit armed burglary. Your bond's gonna be set at $10,000. And count 3, grand theft 3rd degree. Your bond is set at $1,000. You're not to have any contact with listed victims. You're not to return to the scene of the offense. I don't believe I have any additional cases for you, so that's all. Thank you.
Could you repeat the bond amount one more time? I apologize.
Sure. As to count 1 is 20,000. Count 2 is 10,000. Count 3 is 1,000. Carl Moffitt. Your case number is 2020 CF 10409. Has 3 counts. The first count's possession of fentanyl. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond will remain at $1,000. Count 2 is the destruction of evidence.
You don't have a PC argument for that? The allegation is that the allegation is that he put the needle in front of the vehicle, he tried to destroy it, try to hide it, try to, and basically he didn't destroy it or make it so it couldn't be recovered.
The court agrees. Go ahead and ROR you on that count. In regards
Thank
to
you.
count 3, which is possession of drug paraphernalia, your bond's gonna remain at $100.
Okay.
And Judge Fennell, I missed that, Your Honor, what was the?
Possession of fentanyl, bonds stayed at 1,000.
Thank you.
Kevin Olivo Rivera. Right, Mr. Olivo, your case is 2020 CF 9012. Alleges 2 offenses. The first one is fleeing, attempting to elude police officers with lights and sirens. Do you find probable cause? Your bond is set at $2,500. Count 2 is driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. Your bond is currently, I do find PC. For that offense, your bond is going to be stayed at $500. Anthony, is it Oro? Orpez? Hold on. It's written kind of weird. Wait, do we have an Anthony Oro Perez Rosado? That
Your Honor,
individual
I have,
bond
Anton
out?
Sanders here.
You don't have him on the docket at all?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, that's odd. Okay.
What was the name?
It's, Anthony,
It's Oro, it's all one word. So Oro Perez Rosado. Said he had 2 cases, but he may have bonded out.
you need the MA number?
Yeah, the MA number.
2001
Mm-hmm.
8965.
He bonded.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Sanders, I have 2 cases for you. The first one is 2020 CF 10405. It's 5 counts. The first one is possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver. Do find probable cause. The bond is going to remain at $1,000. Count 2 is possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver with a weapon. Your bond is going to be set at $5,000. Count 3 is possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. Your bond's going to remain at $1,000. Count 4 is possession of firearm commission of felony. Your bond will remain at $5,000.
What is the name on this case, Your Honor?
Last name is Sanders, first name is Antron.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Second case is 2020 CF 10423. That's 3 counts. First one is fleeing, attempting to elude police officers. Probable cause was found. Your bond is going to be set at $2,500. Count 2 is reckless driving. Probable cause has been found. Your bond will remain at $500. Count 3, it's resisting an officer without violence. Probable cause has been found. Your bond will remain at $150. All right, Deontay Shackleford. Your new case is 2020 CF 10411. It's 1 count of carrying concealed firearm. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is going to remain at $2,500. You have 2 additional cases. First one is 2019 CF 12448. You're out on bond on this offense. This is Orange County case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and revoke the bond, set it at 0. Second case is 2020 CF 3542. It's another Orange County case.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're out on bond on this offense. I'm gonna revoke your bond and set it at 0 this time. Brandon Thomas. Mr. Thomas, you have a new case, 2020 CF 10408. It has 3 counts. The first count is burglary of a dwelling. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is going to remain at $5,000. Count 2 is petty theft. I do find probable cause. Your bond's going to remain at $100. And count 3 is criminal mischief. I do find probable cause. Your bond's going to remain at $100. Let's see, it looks like you were out on bond on 2020 MM331. It's for a battery out of Orange County. I'm going to revoke that bond, set you at 0. You're also out on bond on 2020 MM749, which is another Orange County case. I'm going to revoke that bond, set it at 0. Austin Nguyen. So I have 2 cases for you. First one is 2020 CF 10381. Has 4 separate offenses. The first one is armed burglary of conveyance with a firearm. Do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is set at $20,000. Second count, burglary of a conveyance. I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $2,500. Count 3 is grand theft, 3rd degree of a firearm. Your bond is set at $3,500. Count 4 is grand theft, 3rd degree. Your bond's gonna be set at $1,000. Your second case is 2020 CF 10375. There's 4 separate counts. The first one is an attempted sale and delivery of cannabis. Do find probable cause. Your bond's going to remain at $1,000. Count 2 is possession of drug paraphernalia. Do find probable cause. Your bond's going to remain at $100. Count 3 is possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. Your bond is going to remain at $100. And trespass on property after warning. Do find probable cause. Your bond's going to be actually going to remain at $100. Thank you. All right, Michelle Ford.
I'm gonna put you on quarantine.
I'm going to waive her appearance in regards to 2019 MM9142. It's a failure to appear for a trespass. Bond has been set for $100.
And she does have an open Orange County case.
Trespass on property. won't take any action on that.
Okay.
Tamara Namey,
Yes, ma'am.
your case is 2020 MM1823. Looks like it was 2 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia. There was a failure to appear on these offenses. Bonds has been issued at $500 apiece. Okay.
I already did time for this case.
Well, don't say anything.
Don't say anything. I've appointed the services of the Public Defender's Office, so any issues or concerns, please speak with your attorney.
I already did this.
Luis Rodriguez Vega. Are you Mr. Rodriguez Vega?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right. Your case is 2020 CT 5343. You're charged with driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. I did review the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500 at this time.
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, he does qualify for pretrial release.
I'm gonna add pretrial conditions of no alcohol.
Oh, you will never see my face again, ma'am. Your Honor.
Good.
You know,
All
for
right,
sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
So is that considered bond and PTR?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer Agosto.
Yes.
Your case is 2020 MM6289. Alleges 2 offenses, disorderly conduct, which I do find probable cause for. Your bond will remain at $100. Count 2 is resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna reduce your bond to $500.
She does qualify for pretrial release, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm leaving county anyway.
Aaron Burke.
Yes, ma'am.
We have case 2020 MM6284, 1 count of trespass, unoccupied structure. Do find probable cause for this offense. Your bonds will be, does he qualify for straight PTR?
No, Your Honor, because he has an open Orange County case.
I see.
Your Honor, we would request that the court take no action on that open case.
Alright. In regards to the trespass, your bond's gonna be stayed at $250.
Can I see the time served, Your Honor?
There is an offer on this case, Your Honor. The offer was made as adjudication of guilt, court costs, and no return to the incident location.
Have you spoken to him about that?
I have not had the opportunity yet to speak to him to review this case. We can push it. We can talk to him for a moment. I'm sure we have the time yet, but.
Okay.
Huh? Push it for what? What is it, Leo? Okay, time sure I push it for till when?
So I need to I need to talk about legal.
Okay, when can we do that?
So we do that after this. So just go back.
Okay, all right.
So, Your Honor, were you taking no action on his out on bond case?
I haven't made a decision yet. I'm trying to see what's going on. So what are we doing?
So we don't recall. So I just, the problem is I just only received the offers, not too late, but I didn't have the opportunity to go talk to everyone what the offers were to run through the plea form yet, so.
Oh, okay. So you all can set this for a plea then, right?
Yes, that would be, I think it would be preferable.
All right, well, based upon that, I'll take no action on the 2020 MM335.
Thank you.
Lindsay Burton.
I've been working on some mental health.
Sorry?
I've been marked down mental health.
Your Honor, she's mental health.
Okay, I'm gonna waive her appearance, in regards to case 2020 MM6286, trespass on property after warning. I am, finding probable cause, and her bond is going to be reduced to $250. Dustin Kraft,
Yes, ma'am.
I have case 2020 MM426.
I know when I talk.
Hold on one second. And Your Honor, I have a probable cause argument on this case. Mr. Kraft.
That can't be right. Let's see, possession of controlled substance. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry. I was
So,
reading the,
If I got a moment, I'll pull up the affidavit itself. If my recollection is correct, this entire search was based off of the odor of cannabis and admission to smoking cannabis earlier in the day or at some point prior. Again, I don't think that reaches a standard necessary to do a investigatory search of a vehicle based on what odor of marijuana. They didn't discuss whether it was hemp, whether he potentially had a medical marijuana card, anything like that.
so you're contesting the stop?
I'm contesting a search.
So you're saying the plain smell of marijuana coming from the vehicle is insufficient to conduct the search?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, if I'm not mistaken, case law still states that's sufficient. I will also argue that that's more of a motion to suppress issue that they're arguing.
Yeah, I do agree. I think that's more appropriate for a motion to suppress at this time. My concern is from reading the charging affidavit. I have an MM case number, but reading this, it says that it tested positive, it's possession of controlled substance. So, and there was a presumptive field test and tested positive for methamphetamine. So, and that's the pipe that tested. So it should be just a possession of drug paraphernalia, not possession of controlled substance on this affidavit. No one heard me?
I heard you, Your Honor.
It's fine. Reviewing the charging affidavit, my charging affidavit says possession of controlled substance. It really should state possession of drug paraphernalia because the pipe was tested and it tested for meth.
Okay.
Okay, because we all know possession of controlled substance should be a felony, not a misdemeanor, and this was given a misdemeanor number, so I have to assume that this is just a possession of drug paraphernalia.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, so based upon that, I find probable cause for possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to scratch whatever this is and place that on there. And the bond is going to be set at $500.
Yeah, we're still going.
Does he have another case?
Your Honor, we're discussing what he would be qualifying for PTR.
He, it was noted as he did not qualify.
I have a job. I've been working. I'm going to lose my job. I don't have nobody to come bond me out or sign for me either.
Victor Fuller?
Victor Fuller is going to help, Your Honor.
I'm going to waive his appearance. He has case 2020 MM216, it's trespass, failure to leave property. I do find probable cause. His bond is going to remain at $250. I do understand he has another case, an open case, and it potentially has competency issues because there's a competency hearing set, so I'm not going to take any action on that case. Stephen Haddon.
He's behaving, Your Honor.
Hayfield, all right, will waive his appearance for case 2020 MM6290, one count of trespass on property after warning. Due find probable cause for this offense, his bond will remain at $500. James Letitia. So your case number is 2020 MM6283, one count trespass unoccupied structure. I do find probable cause. Does he qualify for
No, you-
ROR straight PTR?
No, he currently has an open Orange County case.
Oh, for the same offense, okay. All right. So for the trespass, the new one, I will keep your bond at $250. For the Orange County case, I will not take any action. All right, thank you. (2020) MM6287. Ronald Powell.
Your Honor, he's now held.
Okay, thank you. I will waive his appearance for case 2020 MM6287, one count of trespass on property after warning. Do find probable cause, bond will remain at $500. He does have an Orange County case. Petty theft and possession of drug paraphernalia.
You know, considering that there's mental health concerns and these are all misdemeanor charges, we would ask that the court take no action.
All right, I'll take no action.
Thank you.
Sorry?
Why did she say he wasn't here?
It's a behavioral,
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I heard. Edward McDowell?
He refused, Your Honor.
Refuse, all right. I will take his refusal as a waiver of his appearance for case 2020 MM6280, one count trespass on property after warning and do find probable cause. The bonds can remain at $500. He has a few cases. The first one is 2020 MM4910. He was out on ROR for trespass and resisting. Appears to be all the same offenses on his other cases, but do we know if he has any mental health or?
I don't know offhand, Your Honor, but I can go check my system to see if there's anything in previous attorney's marked.
Okay.
Your Honor, at least on case number 2020 MM 3190 or 3199, I do see that there was a Thompson hearing that was set on 8/13 with a due company status set later on for 9/10.
So I'm going to,
8/3, so I would take that as there are at least some kind of mental
so
health.
pending evaluations?
I believe so. Let me double check to see if there's an eval in yet. It doesn't look like he, oh, I see a non-monetary release order. I don't see the order at least yet on that particular case, but it does look like it's in the process of it's going to be about set.
Based upon that, for 2020 MM4910, won't take any action. For 2020 MM4353, no action. And 2020 MM3199, no action.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Angel Aponte,
Yes, ma'am.
you have an out-of-county warrant from Sarasota. There's a zero bond on this case at this time. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Christopher Bennett,
Yes, ma'am.
you have an out-of-county warrant out of Volusia. The first one's for a VOP for bird dwelling, causing damage. The court case number I have on here is 2020215342. Sorry, 5345. The bond is set at 0. Your second case, the case number is 20202153444. It's 3 separate offenses. It's also in regards to a violation of bird dwelling and grand theft. And bond has been set at 0 for each of those counts. Just 1 second. This is 0, but I'm reading that. This is This was an old bond. Okay, so it's not out. My eyes are missing. Just want to make sure. No, it's fine.
I know.
All right, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all I have for you, sir. Good luck. Mr. Burris?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I have 2 out-of-county warrants. The first case is 180792. It's out of Putnam County, and there's a 0 bond on this case. Your second case is 183396. And that one is out of Seminole County, and the bond is set at 0 at this time. Okay?
Okay, the Seminole County cases was held yesterday, taken care of yesterday, ma'am.
Taken care of yesterday?
Yes, it
Ma'am.
was time served.
Time served? Oh, that's great. All right. So the only thing you have left is Putnam County then?
Yes, ma'am. I was wondering why they took a year to serve these warrants.
I wish I could tell you.
I mean, it didn't even show up in the computer yesterday or anything until after I got done with court.
Well, hopefully, you'll be able to take care of this quickly.
Yeah, I'm hoping my lawyer will get on it. Thank you.
So criminal, I know I'm tired now. The Seminole, he said he took care of yesterday.
On this case number? On this case number?
You want me to give you the case number? Yeah, on the,
183396. He took care of it yesterday? I want to make sure.
Calm on down.
Mr. Thompson, is that right?
Yes.
Good, okay.
Oh.
And then they know what case you have, Mr. Thompson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I was like, I'm also representing.
Sometimes it's hard to tell with the math sign.
No relation, right?
I doubt it.
Are you guys, is everyone ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah? You guys ready? Do you need a minute? No. No? Okay. We'll go ahead and get started then. Good morning, I'm Judge Carter. If I could have the state and the public defender place their appearances on the record, please?
Kathy Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of State Attorney.
Pedro Matos with the Public Defender.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. If you are here to provide testimony as a witness, could you please stand up and raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you so much. You may be seated. Mr. Pollock and Mr. Thompson, I'm going to take the Spanish cases, and then we'll go ahead and do your cases.
Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System.
Hello?
Good morning, Your Honor. Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line. Sorry, I have the wrong headsets.
That's okay. Good morning, Ms. Romero. Have you been sworn in?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
All right, great. I'll go ahead and call the first case. Ma'am, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
One moment, Your Honor. Allow me to connect to the podium.
Yes, courtroom 1.
Thank you. Your Honor, are you in courtroom 1?
Yes,
Is the defendant in courtroom 1 or courtroom 2?
courtroom 1.
I am talking to CO, Your Honor, who says that they don't have a Spanish speaker in courtroom 1.
I think you must be in either courtroom 2 or 3, because I'm looking right at both of the
Yeah,
COs
you're
and
right.
the defendant.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I dialed her.
It's Friday,
Wrong
I
one.
understand.
What happened was I dialed the courtroom 1 at the jury.
Oh, I
in
see.
Orlando.
Okay, no problem.
I'm like, I have a Spanish, an English speaker. She can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay, ma'am, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Joshua Gerard. Right. Is the one 0263
Ana Seca Morena.
This is case number 20MM6245. Ma'am, you were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning, sir.
It's a non-arrest case.
Good morning.
That's the one he said.
Sir, do you need the help of the interpreter or do you speak English?
Well, I
need an interpreter. That way it's what's there. Bien.
Mr.
He needs the
Mayor,
interpreter. That way it's better, Your Honor.
thank you. Okay. Could you ask him his name, please?
Su nombre, por favor.
Héctor Hernández.
Hector Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, do you want to have contact with Ms. Camarina?
Señor Hernández, ¿usted quiere tener contacto con la señora Camarino?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
¿Usted le tiene temor a ella?
No, no.
No.
Do you
No.
have any concerns about your children's safety or your safety if I were to allow contact between you?
¿Usted tiene alguna preocupación por su seguridad o la seguridad de sus hijos si yo permitiera que ustedes dos tuvieran contacto?
Sí, ahí sí, yo quiero que no tengamos contacto por los niños. Sí, quiero que esté un poco alejada de mí y de los niños. Eso sí lo quiero.
Yes, I do want her to be, to take some space between her and the children and me. Yes, no contact for some time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
None for this bench, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, at this time, I'm going to order that you are not to have any contact with Mr. Hernandez. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you need a one-time return to the house to get your things with the police, you may do so. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
Señora, yo le voy a ordenar que usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con el señor Hernández en este momento. Va a tener que mantenerse viviendo separada de él. No puede poseer ningún tipo de armas o armas mortales. Se le va a permitir regresar al hogar una sola vez, acompañada por la policía para recoger sus artículos personales. Y va a quedar en libertad bajo el programa de libertad preventiva en este momento. ¿Tiene usted alguna otra pregunta?
Sí, puedo cambiar mi caso a California porque yo no puedo estar viviendo más aquí.
Yes, can I transfer my case to California? Because I can no longer continue to live here.
No, you cannot. You'll have to talk to your lawyer about how you can pursue your case.
No, señora, no puede. Va a tener que hablar con su abogada a ver cómo va a poder proseguir con su caso.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señora. Gracias, señor.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Ariel Barrero.
Ariel Barrero.
This is case number 20 CF 10357. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. Based on the affidavit, I only find probable cause for a M1 petty theft. The affidavit states that he's been charged in the past with petty theft. It doesn't list any conviction dates. State, did you want to be heard at all?
No, that's fine, yeah.
Okay. So I find probable cause for a petty theft under 812.014. I think that's sub 1.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The interpreter could not hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I found probable cause for petty theft. Bond is going to be $500, and sir, you are not to return to Walmart. Thank you.
What was the statute number?
It's 812.04014 sub 1. Good morning, your name?
José Enrique Benavides Montero.
José Enríquez Benavides Monteros.
Sir, you were arrested in 20 CF 10363 for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting officer without violence. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license or possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $150. 3 and 4 is $100. And then I'm revoking the bond.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The interpreter needs a repetition on the bond amounts.
Sure. Count 1 is 2,500, 2, 150, 3, 100, 4, 100. And then the bond is being revoked in 20 CF 7042. That'll be set at none.
What? What?
Which case? Without bond, Your Honor.
The out on bond case, 20 CF 7042. The other driving while license suspended or revoked as a habitual offender that you were already out on bond for.
Sí. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it? All right, Madam Interpreter, that's the last Spanish case that we have.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry for the inconvenience.
No problem. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you do. The same.
This, Varzega, the Persian.
What is it? What was the choices? Farsi.
Okay. Or what else? Do we need to ask the defendant if it's? Oh. All right, while y'all are working on that, I'm gonna set this one to the side. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Tell me your name, please.
Harvey Michael Dudley.
Mr. Dudley, you were here for an out-of-county warrant out of Marion County. You failed to appear for pretrial conference related to a battery charge. The judge has set your bond at $1,000. Mr. Dudley, are you going to be able to post your bond?
Yes.
You will, okay. Then at this time, I'm not going to appoint the public defender or contact Marion County if you're indicating that you are going to post the bond.
Okay.
Okay?
What's the procedure I go to get released tonight? Can you tell me, Your Honor?
Pardon me?
What's the procedure I use to get released tonight?
Well, you'll need to contact a bondsman, and you'll have to get your bond posted, and then you'll be able to get processed out through the jail.
Thank you, Your
Okay?
Honor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Thompson, it looks like you're next on Tiara Banks.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, I'm Harold Thompson, I'm Tiara Banks.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Ms. Banks, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Osceola County. There's 4 counts. Count 1, bond is $1,000. Count 2, $150. Count 3, $150. Count 4, $100. It looks like it is related to possession of a forged driver's license, fraudulent use of personal identification information, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. There's a second warrant out of Osceola County. That's a 3-count warrant related to criminal use of personal identification information and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $150. Bond on count 3 is $100. And then we have one, I think that's the last one.
Was it not 3, Your Honor?
3, the last one is 20 CF 2481. It's a 2-count warrant. Bond is set at $1,000 on each count. Mr. Thompson?
Yes, May I inquire?
Sure.
I just wanted to make sure that my client will be able to bond out today. If I understand these new arrests are stemming from a previous arrest where she was already previously out on bond. And I wanted to make sure nothing was revoking her bond and she could make sure that she was able to be released in the community. That's
Yes.
the main concern that we have.
Sure.
The information that, from my understanding, the new arrest is stemming from the previous arrest that she's out on bond for. And one case that the state actually no info, but I just want to make sure that it's nothing that's causing her to remain detained. She has a 3-month-old daughter that we want to make sure she's able to get back home to.
Sure. So I do see that she does have the first appearance detainer. It looks like that's in 13 CF 6347. I'm not going to take any action on that case today. I don't have any information about the Osceola cases, so I wouldn't take any action on that. So she should be able to bond out today.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good day. Can I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Mr. Pollack, you're up. Oh, shoot. Mr. Pollack, I'm sorry. I have to take this Farsi interpreter that we have on hold that they just told me was on there, and then you'll be next. Sorry, sir. Miss Varzega or Varzagar?
Good morning.
Is the interpreter on the line?
Yes, this is your first interpreter on the line.
Okay, thank you. This is case number 20 CT 724. Madam Interpreter, could you please ask the defendant her name?
سلام اسمش سرکار چیه؟ شراره ورزگر. شراره ورزگر.
Ma'am, you were arrested for driving under the influence.
شما دستگیر شدین به خاطر اینکه رانندگی می‌کردین وقتی که یه موادی تو بدنتون بوده؟
There is probable cause.
من تست شدم زیر لیمیتی بودم
Ma'am, please don't talk. I'll let you ask a question when I'm done, but I need you not to talk at this time.
Okay, sorry. شما الان صحبت نکنید تا ایشون حرفشون تموم بشه بعداً اجازه میدن که سوالاتونو بکنید.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
پابلیک دیفندر رو که وکیل عمومی میذارن که براتون دفاع کنه براتون. نتونستم بفهمم یه دور دیگه میشه بلندتر تکرار کنین. She wants me to repeat it. She couldn't hear me. وکیل عمومی رو میذارن که براتون دفاع کنه ازتون. ببخشید نفهمیدم. She didn't hear it again. وکیلی که مال شهر وکیلی که مال چیز مجانیه در واقع میذارن که ازتون دفاع کنه. خب خیلی ممنون میشم. Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
الان شما رو آزاد میکنن برای pretrial.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Any conditions, Your Honor?
I never thinking I'm in the jail in my life.
Sure, I understand, ma'am.
If I had a dream, it was bad dream.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. No. This is Joshua Cummings, case number 20 CF 10263. Mr. Pollock, just want to place your appearance on the record.
Yes, Judge. My name is Adam Pollock, and we're the North Tennis notice.
The interpreter still is on the line. Do you want me to stay on the line or drop the call?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much for your help this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for using our services. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
I'm representing Joshua Cummings. I filed a notice of appearance yesterday on case number 2020 CF9723. But I see there's also a new case of 2020 CF10263.
Correct. So the CF 10263, he was arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for battery by strangulation, battery, and violation of a pretrial release condition on a domestic violence case.
Before the court makes a finding of probable cause, I'd like to point out to the court that within this police report, the officer had spoken to the alleged victim and she claimed that she had been under the influence and doesn't recall the incident. That's on page 2 of the affidavit. I asked the court to consider that and decide whether or not there's probable cause.
So I'm not going to revisit the probable cause because probable cause was previously found because it was a warrant for his arrest. So I do find that probable cause has been established. He is entitled to bond on that case. And I understand that I see the victim in the box. Ma'am, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Gilmaris Rivera.
Ma'am, I'm going to have you speak right into the microphone. It's very hard to hear, especially through the masks.
Gilmaris Rivera.
Ms. Rivera, do you want to have contact with Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Ma'am, you are the alleged victim in 20 CF 9723, is that correct?
Yes.
How long have you been in a relationship with Mr. Cummings?
Year and a half.
Do you have any children together?
No.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Did the state have any questions for the witness?
So this is the second incident within a 2-week time frame. Are you not concerned over your safety because of that?
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
No further. I'm sorry. Were drugs or alcohol related to either incident?
The second, yes.
Okay. No further questions. Just
Mr. Pollock, any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, when you said alcohol related to the second incident, is it, were you the one consuming alcohol? Were you the one consuming the alcohol?
Yes.
Do you have any concerns for your safety if the court were to release Mr. Cummings?
I cannot
Do you
hear.
have any concerns for your safety if Mr. Cummings was to be released by the court?
No.
Is it your desire for the court not only to release him, but to allow him to have contact with you?
Ye-
Do you want the court to allow him to have contact with you?
yes.
Anything else? Okay. At this time, I'm going to set bond on count 1 at $2,500. Bond on count 2 will be $100. Bond on count 3 is $100. I am going to order, Mr. Cummings, that you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I am revoking the pretrial release in CF 9723. In that matter, bond is going to be set at none at this time. Mr. Cummings, I saw you on that case at initial appearance, and I went over the no contact order with you, and there was a no contact order in place, and you violated that order. So because of that, I'm revoking the bond in that case. Anything else, Mr. Pollock?
No, Judge, thank you.
Okay, thank you. It was very good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You do the same. Anytime.
Sir, good morning. Tell me your name.
Hud Thompson.
That's you.
Tell me your name again. I'm sorry.
Hud Thompson.
Is a plea, Your Honor? Okay.
It's a plea for 7 months.
Okay, I see that. Thank you.
This is Seminole County Police?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
I just need to grab all the rest of the.
I printed the score sheet and the plea form again if you're underneath it.
I might. Just give me 1 second to go through this paperwork and then get everything set up.
What's his last name?
Thompson.
Thank you.
Mr. Thompson. Okay, so. All right, the score sheet is here. The affidavit. Restitution order. Civil judgment for restitution. And the plea form. And then Ms. Kennedy Swanson, I'll just need to have you sign the plea form. You can come up at the end if you want to, that's fine. All right. This is an out-of-county plea from Seminole County, case number 16 CF 1733. Counselor, could I get you to put your appearance on the record, please?
Stephanie Osmond on behalf of Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Thompson, could you please state your name and date of birth for the record?
Hud Tannen Thompson. It's 9/1972, date of birth.
Sir, do you read, write, and understand English?
I do, Your Honor.
And, sir, I'm holding up a plea form. Do you recognize this form?
I do.
Do you recall signing it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to review it with your lawyer and ask any questions?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay. And
You just asked me a question now, Your Honor, just for the record. They were just showing the old amounts for the restitution. His wife has made some payments, but I think that should be reflected in the clerk system when it goes, when the clerk of court gets the restitution paperwork back.
okay, yeah, the amount I have on the order is $203.69 is the balance.
I think that he's paid,
Okay.
but we don't, it's not reflected yet, so, but I assume the clerk of court there should have the correct reflection.
The payment.
The payments were paying all the victims in total. Only thing that should have been left was whatever court costs, but
Well,
all the
I think
victims.
I have four restitutions.
Pardon me?
I have 4 amounts.
I have 3.
For me, just double check again in my count's
I
office.
have Randall Deanne in the amount of $203.69. I have Mary Cleveland in the amount of $149 and France Gabara in the amount of $140.
You're correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, all 3 of those were paid.
So I'm not disputing that. This is what's in the order, and I think your lawyers indicated that it may be reflected in the clerk system if it's been paid. And so you would get credit for that. Okay? Is there any other questions before we continue?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Thompson, you were placed on probation for organized fraud under $20,000, which is a third-degree felony. That is punishable by up to 5 years in the state prison, 5 years of probation, and a $5,000 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalties for that offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. And your plea form indicates that at this time you would like to admit that you violated your probation. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And the agreed upon resolution is that your probation will be revoked and terminated. You will be sentenced to 210 days in jail with credit. How much credit does he have?
146 days.
With credit for 146 days. You'll have to pay restitution, as we previously stated, in the amount of $203.69 to Randall Deanne, in the amount of $149 to Mary Ann Cleveland, and the amount of $140 to France Gabara. Your outstanding court costs of $2,295.48 will be reduced to a civil judgment, along with your cost of supervision and electronic monitoring. Those will all be reduced to a civil judgment. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. There's the only one thing that she's checking on, the amount of days. My calculations was 152, because last when we spoke, it was at 141, and that was about 11 days ago.
At one point, Your Honor, we were a few off, so I may have written the old.
Okay, I'm sorry. Mine says 210 days with credit for 210. That's not right?
It says credit for what?
It says 210 days jail with credit for that time that he served.
Mine says this says 210 days jail with credit for that time served to which he is entitled.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's correct, Your Honor.
I don't know how long he's been in Orange County Jail.
You don't know how long he's been here?
Well, he's been here 39 days.
39.
And I believe he's correct with his credit. After I spoke with I forgot to write that on the Seminole, after I spoke with the Seminole attorney, adding another arrest that had been in there as a VOP.
Okay, so what do you think the credit is?
It was 152? 152. It was
No
fine.
objection, 152.
Okay, so I'm going to make the correction here on the plea form. You'll have credit for 152 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's my fault.
That's okay. Mr. Thompson, has anybody promised you anything different than what I've stated here in open court today?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter into this admission?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, Your Honor.
Are you experiencing any mental illness?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will result in your deportation?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. And does the defense stipulate to a factual basis for the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I've reviewed all of the information that was provided by Seminole County establishing the factual basis for the plea. At this time, Mr. Thompson, I will accept your plea. I find that it has been entered freely and voluntarily, that you are alert and intelligent, and that you understand the nature and consequences of your admission, and that you're satisfied with your attorney that there was a factual basis. I was previously provided a score sheet. Did you have a chance to review the score sheet?
I reviewed it. I spoke to the attorney in Seminole who reviewed it, and he confirmed that it's correct.
Okay. And then Ms. Kennedy Swanson, if you could just sign the plea form for me here. Thank you. All right, Mr. Thompson, I, at this time, am going to maintain your adjudication, revoke and terminate your supervision. You are going to be sentenced to 210 days in jail with credit for 152 days. You, again, are going to have to pay those restitution amounts, and you'll have to talk with your lawyer and then the clerk of the court in Seminole to see what credits may already be in the system. But that's $203.69 to Randall Deanne, $149 to Marianne Cleveland, and $140 to France Gabara. All of your outstanding court costs, cost of supervision, and electronic monitoring are going to be reduced to a civil judgment. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Anything else?
Nothing for instance.
Okay. Ms. Kennedy Swanson?
No, Your Honor, that's all.
It is organized fraud. Mr. Thompson, does he have to be reprinted?
He was previously adjudicated already, so I don't believe so.
I don't either. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a nice weekend. Good morning. Are you Miss Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Lewis, you were arrested for trespassing in 20 mm 6240. There is probable cause. Was there an offer for Miss Lewis?
You're talking about a days in last night?
Right.
Okay.
Education, credit for time served, no return, Your Honor.
So, Miss Lewis, do you want to enter a plea?
Not guilty.
Okay. Just to be clear, you don't want to resolve your case today? Do you want to have to come back to court? Do you want to contest the charges?
I don't understand what the charges are. It was trespassing, right?
Correct. You were charged with, or you were arrested for trespassing at the Days Inn. So I'm
Right,
asking
right.
you today, you've just indicated that you wanted to plead not guilty, which means you're saying that you didn't trespass, which is fine. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page, that you do not wish to resolve your case today. The state has made an offer of an adjudication of guilt and credit time served.
And what is that?
Means you would be released from the jail today. And you
That's
would
what
have
I
to-
would like.
That's what you want to do. Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm gonna change it.
That's exactly what I would like.
Withhold, not a conviction.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Ms. Lewis, you will not be convicted of the crime of trespass, but you will be sentenced to 2 days in jail or 3 days in jail, and you've got credit for 3 days. You'll have to pay court costs as well. Do you understand?
I have to pay court costs and 3 days in jail.
That's right.
And then I get to go home.
Yes, and you can't go back to the Days Inn.
Right, I understand.
Okay.
So 3 days as of,
You'll be released today.
I'll be released today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And will I get my things back that they took from me at the Days Inn, my tote bag and...
Who took, the police?
The police took my tote bag with my makeup and cosmetics
You
and my
should get your
Walter and
belongings
ID.
back when you're released.
And my folder with all my files in it.
Yes.
My paperwork. I'll get that when I'm...
Your property will be released to you when they release you from the jail.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, my mask up? Okay.
Did you want to enter a plea of no contest at this time?
That's fine.
All right. I will accept your plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to 3 days in jail. You have credit for 3 days time served. You are not to return to the Days Inn, and you're going to have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 28th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal, ma'am. Thank you.
So when do I get to go? I get to leave today? then?
Today.
Today.
Later on
Okay.
today.
And I'm going back to where the bunk beds are?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Adkins?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. You're here in 20 CF 10344. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes.
I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all, sir. Thank you. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am. It's just, we moving anyway, and he don't stay. He just end up coming there, and he was intoxicated and was flipping that.
All right. Well, listen, as long as he's not there, you can be there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Hi, Mr. Carter.
Mr. Anderson, you were here in 20 CF 10372. You were arrested for aggravated battery, great bodily harm, false imprisonment, domestic violence, and battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both of your cases. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence.
Yes, ma'am.
You may return one time with the police to get your things if needed, and
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about the terms of the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
Bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $150. Bond on count 3 is $100. And then in case number 20 CF 10361, you were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia.
ma'am.
There's also probable cause for those offenses. Bond on count 1 will be $150. Bond on count 2 will be $100. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances
Thank
without
you so
a valid
much, Ms. Carter.
prescription.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Have a nice day, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You do the same. Thank you, Ms. Carter. So I get my bone amount. So that's 2,500. $300 give me up. Set that up, man. Bye, bye, Ms. Carter. Thank you, Ms. Carter.
Goodbye, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Ricky Calderon, Your Honor.
Mr. Calderon, you're here in 20 CF 10371. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, dating violence, false imprisonment, battery on a law enforcement officer, and resisting officer with violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about any of the orders that I have stated here in court?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, sir. Your bond on count 1 will be $1,500. Your bond on count 2, $150. 3, $150. 4, $150. Thank you, sir. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Malik McCauley.
Sir, you're here in 20 CF 9751. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for contempt of court and for aggravated stalking after injunction. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You are to abide by the injunction in 20 DR 6769. Bond on count 1 will be $2,500. Bond on count 2 will be $150, and I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 8712. That'll be set at none. Thank you, sir.
You're gonna take up Melendez is outside medical?
Okay. I will reset, I'm going to appoint the public defender, and then I'll reset Mr. Melendez for 24 hours when he returns from the hospital.
To make a bond motion, I'll send him an email as well.
Okay, because even with the plan, I'm not the one out here in my family, so I don't have someone that even go to sign it for me, you know what I mean? To say like anything else.
Call him. This is the number of attorney, your attorney here. Call that number, ask your attorney, and ask him to give me a bond reduction or some way to pay it. You know, what that's how you just don't get that.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
There's a white.
Mr. White, you were here in case number 20 CF 10376. You were arrested for kidnapping, aggravated assault, battery, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of cocaine. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Kennedy Swanson, did you want to be heard on count 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Hold on.
Can you just talk to him for a second?
Sure.
Your Honor, we would like to waive the finding of presumption and have the whole outfit here in downtown.
Okay, so you're waiving this,
Yes, Your Honor.
or you're relieving the state of their burden to establish proof, evident, or presumption grade at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and that's pursuant to Throutman v. Jr., which is 275 SO3D 726. Mr. White, at this time, your bond on count 1 will be remaining at none. Your lawyer is going to schedule a hearing in front of the trial judge in Division 10. Bond on count 2 is $2,500. Bond on count 3 is $500. Bond on count 4 is going to be $500, and bond on count 5 will be $150. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. I'll be revoking the bond in 20 CF 6147. That bond will be set at none. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Mary Livingston.
Miss Livingston, you are here in case number 20MM423. You were arrested for battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you tell me your name, please?
John Livingston.
And Mr. Livingston, do you want to have contact with your wife?
Yes. Judge, is it possible to contest the probable cause?
Well, her lawyer could do that, but I've already found it based upon the facts in the affidavit. So all probable cause means is that based upon what's written in here, the elements for the crime of battery have been found. It doesn't mean that she's guilty. I'm not making any judgment on that at all today. Today, I'm just going to set her conditions of release.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the arresting officers way overstepped, and this never should have been an arrest.
I understand, sir, and that is absolutely something that you can speak with the state attorney about. They're going to contact you regarding your input on the case, and I would share that with them, and you can also share that with her public defender. Mr. Livingston, you don't have any concerns about your safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did the state have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Matos?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to order at this time, Ms. Livingston, that you're not to have any hostile contact with your husband. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay. So you can't argue with him, you can't fight, you can't act aggressive toward him in any way?
Does that mean I have to move out of my house?
No, not at all. So it just, like I said, it means that you can't act aggressive toward him, you can't argue, fight, yell, that kind of thing. Okay, but you're gonna be able to go home today. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance at this time. So you're gonna be given a court date when you leave. You need to make sure that you keep in contact with your lawyer and that you show up at that court date as directed. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Mr. Livingston, any questions, sir?
Just, we should, if we want to contest this whole thing, we have to get a lawyer.
Well, she has a lawyer. I've appointed her a lawyer. And she'll be given a piece of paper here, and it'll have the phone number to call to get in contact with the lawyer. And like I said, the state attorney is going to reach out to you because you're the listed victim in the case, and you will absolutely be able to explain to them what happened.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Mhm. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Are you Miss Merritt?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Merritt, you're here in 20 MM 6266. You were arrested for battery, dating violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'll give you a one-time return to get your things if you need to with the police, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Do you have any questions, Miss Merritt?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay.
Trinity Nixon is mental health.
Okay. Mr. Matos, do you want to waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's 20 MM 6260. She was arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. She's not to have any contact with the victim. She is to maintain a separate residence. She may have a one-time return with the police to get her things if needed. She's not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm placing her on pretrial release at this
Your
time.
Honor, Your Honor, the victim, I believe, is
Oh,
here.
I'm sorry. I didn't see you, sir. Come on in.
Wait, this is for Trinity Nixon, right?
Sir?
Trinity Nixon?
This is for Trinity, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't see you sitting. I didn't
You're
know you were in
okay.
this case. Tell me your name.
Michael Abrams?
Mr. Abrams, do you want to have contact with Ms. Nixon?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
You live together?
Yes. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So the real reason why I called, I just wanted her to get mental health help, but like when she was yelling in the background, they chose to send officers. So that's why we're here. So I will want to drop the charges, but I can't do that here, obviously. So, but that's just to be on the record.
I understand. Okay. But you don't have any concerns about your safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
No.
How long have you been dating?
3 years.
3 years, okay. Is there any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing defense,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
As I'll modify the previous order, I will allow no hostile contact, and she will be instructed by pretrial release when she is eventually released. No hostile contact, no weapons, and still placed on pretrial release. So
Okay.
as soon as the mental health hold has been released, then she'll get processed out through pretrial release.
Okay, so what's going to happen? So she has a mental health hold right now?
Right.
So she's going to stay here today then, or what?
I don't know how long that hold will last. It just depends on how
Her.
she's doing.
Okay.
And then once they feel that she's stable, then they'll release that hold.
Okay.
Okay, but you won't have to pay a bond to get her out. She's gonna be on pretrial release.
All right.
All
Thank
right?
you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, you took off the separate residence?
Yes, yes, yes. No hostile and no weapons. Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Your name?
Adam Rana.
Mr. Rana, you are here in 20 MM 6265. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You may have a one-time return with the police to get your things if needed. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
any questions about the order?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sign defendant.
Good morning, your name?
Marcus?
You Mr. Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in 20 MM 6249. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. There's probable cause for the offense. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You
Yes,
may
ma'am.
return one time with the police to get your things.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time, sir.
I have one too. This is.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Virginia Satmary.
Ma'am, you're here on 20 MM 6267. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with the police to get your things. And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Oh, can I have a question? Because I have kids, and that's their help. Like, I don't know if it'd be better if he could leave. Because I have, can I put this down for a second? I'm injured. I'm injured from him throwing me down.
Okay, so Miss,
I called.
I understand, Miss Satmer. I understand
know.
that you're very upset. I do. I'm not making any judgments about what happened last night at all. I'm just setting the conditions of your release. So how old are your kids?
15 and 16.
Okay. Is there a third party who can facilitate contact with your children?
Well,
So that would be like a family member or a friend who can help you have contact with your children, because you can't have any contact with your husband.
well, I know, but they're not his kids. Those are my kids.
Oh,
Those are my kids.
okay, then there shouldn't be an issue.
So I just want to keep their house normal life.
Right, so
That's okay.
That's something that you're gonna have to work out, ma'am. I can't make him leave the home. So if he's there, then you can't stay there. So that's something that you're gonna have to work out and decide for yourself.
How do I do that? Or, I mean, how do I? Okay.
So either he's gonna leave the home and you and the kids can stay there, or if you don't want the kids there with him, you and the kids are gonna have to find someplace else to stay.
How do I communicate that with him if I can't?
Mr. Matos?
Miss Satmary, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay.
For how long?
Until the case is over. Thank you. Me too. Good morning. Are you Mr. Hodge?
Yes.
Can I get a driving record? Oh, hold on. Oh, I have one. It's just in the back. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Mr. Hodge, you were arrested in 20 CT 527 for failing to appear for arraignment for the offense of driving while license suspended.
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
bond is currently set at $500, or you could enter a plea and resolve the case today if you'd like.
What is the plea?
Ms. Kennedy Swanson, did you want him to plead to the court, or did you want to make an offer? On his driving record that I'm looking at, he has 2 suspensions for failing to pay court financial obligations. That's the only thing on his driving history.
I'll do withhold credit for time served.
Okay. Mr. Hodge, the offer from the state would be a withhold and credit for time served. So there's no formal adjudication, and you'd be given credit for 2 days time served. You'd have to pay court costs. Again, and that's what's suspending your license is the failure to pay court costs. So if you don't pay these costs that I'm going to assess today, it's going to be another suspension on your license.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Also, the offense, driving while license suspended, is an enhanceable offense. Okay? So the next time you get one, they can increase the level of crime that it is. And if you get 3 within 5 years, your license will be suspended for 5 years. And then it can be a felony. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you want to accept the plea today?
Yes, if I take the plea today, I'll be getting out today.
Does he have any other hold?
Yes, he'll be getting a no holds.
You'll be released today.
Yes, ma'am, I'd like to take the plea.
All right. Did you have a chance to read the plea form before court this morning?
I'm reading it now.
Let me know when you're finished and if you have any questions.
No, I don't have no questions.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that has affected your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 28th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we did Mr. Hood. Good morning, your name?
José Muñoz.
What is it?
José Muñoz.
Jose Munoz?
Yes.
Sir, this is a status hearing out of Duval County. At this time, per Judge Sharabula, your bond is to remain at none. The public defender has been appointed here in Orange County to assist you in coordinating with Duval County, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Gunnar Katu.
Mr. Kotu, you are here for an out-of-county plea from Lake County in 19 MM 1812. Judge Neveth has approved a plea of an adjudication of guilt, 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served.
All right.
What's his last name, Your Honor?
Kantu?
Kotu.
Kotu, sorry, sir.
It's all right. Kind of used to it.
It is unusual, yes.
French Canadian, if you wanted to know.
Oh, thank you. I thought that there was an actual plea form that they had sent over. That's for Mr. Martinez. That's for Mr. Figueroa. That's for Mr. Anderson.
Can you spell your last name for me?
Coutu.
It's a Lake County plea.
I'm trying to find in my email.
Okay, so just to recap, sir, you would be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You have to pay the cost of incarceration of $50 per day, any outstanding pretrial costs. You must report to the payment window to set up your payment plan within 5 days, which would be in Lake County. Upon entering this plea or being released from custody, your mandatory court costs and $100 to the state attorney's office for the cost of prosecution. If you do not wish to accept the offer, the judge has authorized you to set a $500 bond with a court appearance in September. What would you like to do, sir?
I would like to take the second one, please.
The plea?
Yes, please.
Okay. And Mr. Kotu, you were charged by information with possession of alcohol by a minor first offense. The maximum punishment for that crime is 60 days in jail, 6 months probation, and a $500 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalties?
I understand.
And would you like to enter a plea of no contest at this time?
No, ma'am.
Pardon me?
I would like to plead no contest.
All right, sir. Did you, you understand by entering this plea today that you're giving up your right to have a trial by a jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And that by entering this plea today, the case will be over and you will not be able to contest the charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you on probation?
As of right now, no.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for any time that you've served. How much time has he been here in Orange County?
5 days.
So I'll sentence you to 5 days in jail with credit for 5 days' time served, plus cost of incarceration of $50 per day. Any outstanding costs, you will have to set up your payment plan within 5 days of being released from custody and pay a $100 to the state attorney's office for the cost of prosecution. Mr. Kotu, how old are you?
I'm 21 now.
All right. And how far did you go in school?
I went until my sophomore year, and then I got my GED at Job Corps.
Okay. So GED. Mr. Kotu, I'm going to hand you this plea form, if I could. I need you to review it, initial that you've read of the paragraphs, and then I'll need you to sign it for me, please. Oh, here, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's very warm in here. Are you guys hot? I'm talking to someone. Mr. Kotu, I'm going to have you sit. Can he sit in the back with that? Okay. I'm going to have you sit in the back with that, sir. I want you to take your time and read it, and then I'll call your case back up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Good morning.
What's your name?
Martinez, Jorge Martinez.
Mr. Martinez, you're here for an out-of-county plea out of Monroe County in 19 CT 648. The plea offer from the judge in that case is a withhold of adjudication, credit for time served, $253 in court costs, $40 cost of investigation, and $50 cost of prosecution. Sir, did you want to accept that offer today?
No, ma'am.
You do.
Speak up.
Mr. Martinez, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm understand.
Do you need an interpreter, Mr. Martinez?
Huh?
Do you need an interpreter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. I don't know the language.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn, Your Honor.
Great, thank you so much. This is case number 19 CT 648. And so you're going to remote into BRC 1.
Thank you, Your Honor. Connected, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, the offer to resolve your case today is a withhold of adjudication, credit for time served, $253 court cost, $40 cost of investigation, and $50 cost of prosecution. Do you want to accept the offer?
Yes.
All right. And you will be pleading no contest to the offense of driving without a driver's license. I have reviewed the information provided by Monroe County. There is a factual basis for the plea.
I can barely hear. Actually, Your Honor, for some reason, the interpreter can hear Your Honor, but it's almost like as if a microphone that is far away, not as usual. Usually, the voice of Your Honor is usually very, very clear and distinctive. This time it's not as much so, but the interpreter can still hear you.
Is this better?
No, Your Honor, it's like
Okay.
yes, it's not coming from far away, but so far so good.
Okay. Mr. Martinez, I have a plea form here that you have signed. Do you recall signing the plea form?
Oh yes, I did sign it.
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything or any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, everything is fine.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No, this is the only one I have.
Okay. Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Uh-huh.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right, I'll accept your plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to
81 days.
81. To 81 days in jail with credit for 81 days time served. You'll have to pay court costs, sir, of $253, $40 cost of investigation, and $50 cost of prosecution. Those are going to be due by August 28th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. No valid. All right, Mr. Kotu, did you have any questions about anything on the plea form?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir.
I'm sorry, is that the only Spanish case we have?
Yes, that was it. Thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome, Your Honor.
Have a nice day.
You too, thank you.
That's for that, Mr. Martinez. All right, Mr. Kotu, I have to inform you that you do have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Charles Anderson.
Yes, thank you. Okay, that's all done. What's this? Yeah, I pronounced the sentence. Yeah. I just didn't realize that plea form had all of that on there. Don't let me forget these. I'll do it when they bring the orders in. So Mr. Anderson, I'm gonna take that back to Jill. she doesn't have to do that again. This is a 33-day motion, although it's not labeled as such. Not there. This goes here. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Kaylee Azra.
Ma'am, you are here in case number 20MM6269. You were arrested for prostitution. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the mapping zone, and I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Did Miss Anderson bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Chance Ezekiel Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you are here in 20MM6252. You were arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. You're not to have contact with the victim. You're not to return to the scene. Your bond is $500. Good morning. Are you Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Yes? Mr. Collins, I need you to answer out loud, please.
Yes.
This is 20MM6242. You were arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to return to the sit-go. And your bond is $500, sir. Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Danielle Hamaya.
Ms. Hamaya, this is 20MM6271. You were arrested for prostitution. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the mapping zone, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh, wait,
Do you have a question?
yeah, pretrial release, that means I get released today?
It does.
So if I had my father go to the bondsman before I came to court, what happens after that?
Is there a bond posted for?
No, Your Honor.
So it hasn't been posted yet. So if you can get in contact with your dad, he doesn't need to post a bond for you because you're going to be on pretrial release.
I already talked to him at 8 o'clock, and he was on the way, so.
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Adrian Holtz is medical.
Okay. Mr. Matos, I'm going to appoint your office to represent him. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's 20MM6241. He was arrested for criminal mischief. There is probable cause. The public defender's appointed. He's not to return to the scene or possess any weapons. I'm going to set bond at $500. Could I have him screened for mental health pretrial release, please? And at this time, I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond cases. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
It's not.
You have a question, Mr. Matos?
Oh, just that it was somebody else, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, good morning. Tell me your name.
Jelena Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, you were here in 20MM6272. You were arrested for prostitution. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the mapping zone, and I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time.
So I get out today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, you need my ID?
Ada LaPointe Dell is medical.
All right, so Mr. Matos, I'm going to appoint your office to represent her. Do you want to waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. It's 20 MM 6243. She was arrested for trespassing on property after warning. There's probable cause. She's not to return to the Denny's. Bond is $500. Can I also have her screened for mental health pretrial release? Thank you. I'm not going to take any action on her out on bond cases at this time. I'm not sure what we can do for Ms. LaCoya Bell. Hopefully she will get qualified for the mental health pretrial program. All right, I'm going to find a waiver of his appearance based upon his Mr. Petrovic. Is it? Yes. He was arrested in 20 MM 6255 for resisting officer without violence and soliciting without a permit. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. Bond on count 1 is 500. Bond on count 2 is 100. I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Justenia Rosario.
Ms. Rosario, you're here in 20 MM 6251. You were arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Ms. Rosario?
There is not, Your Honor.
Ms. Rosario, where are you living?
I live in Orlando.
Where?
On 40th Street.
Where?
On 40th Street.
Do you live in a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Who do you live with?
My wife's mom.
Do you work?
No.
When's the last time you worked?
Some months ago.
Do you have any ability to post your bond?
I'm sure someone will post it. If it's not that high, they'll post it for me.
How long have you been living in Orlando?
Like 5 months, maybe.
Where were you living before that?
In Claremont.
All right. How long have you lived in Florida?
Like 5 years.
Okay. So, ma'am, on 20 MM 6251, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You are not to return to Walmart. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then on 20 CF 7796, I'm not going to revoke the bond, but I'm going to add random urinalysis testing to your release conditions.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm adding random urinalysis testing to your release conditions.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you Mr. Sanders?
Ma'am,
Are you Mr. Sanders?
I am.
Mr. Sanders, can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You're here in 20 MM 753. You were arrested for trespassing. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Sanders?
Adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, no return.
Mr. Sanders, if you want to resolve your case today, it's an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, and you can't go back to the pavilion. Do you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No probation.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Say that.
If you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation.
I'm a U.S. citizen.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 28th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, your name?
My name is Danielle Bayed.
Ma'am, this is 20MM 6273. You were arrested for prostitution. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the mapping zone, and your bond is $1,000, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Ricardo Riddle.
Sir, you are here in 20 CT 5323. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $500. You are not to drive without a valid driver's license.
Thank you.
We're not done. You have a VOP in 15 CF 1390. It's a violation of probation based upon the new law arrest, sir. Your bond in that matter will be set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Steve Zittle.
Mr. Zittle, this is 19 CF 16123. It is alleged that you violated your probation by failing to report as instructed and failing to report and provide a physical address to your probation officer. Your bond in that case is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both of these cases. You also have 20 CF 10359. You were arrested for giving a false name, adversely affecting another, and resisting officer without violence. There's probable cause for both of those offenses as well. Bond on count 1 is $1,000. Bond on count 2 is $100. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Daniel Westberg.
Ms. Williams, would you have given me a driving record for an out-of-county person? Yes. You would have? Okay. Got it. Mr. Bosclair, this is an out-of-county warrant from Monroe County.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
failed to appear for court related to the offense of driving while license suspended or revoked. The bond is currently set at $25,000. If you wanted to enter a plea today, I would sentence you to, to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license and court costs. Did you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
accept the plea or did you want to post the bond?
Yeah, I said definitely.
Okay, so looking at your driving record, the last time you were convicted for any offense that could be used against you to count for the 3 strikes
Yes, ma'am.
was in 2008. So this would be your first strike toward the 3. If you get 2 more convictions for driving while license suspended or other qualifying offenses, you can lose your license for up to 5 years. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to read the plea form this morning?
Excuse me?
Did you have an opportunity to read the plea form before court?
The non-contest and all
Correct.
that? Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll have to pay court costs. Those will be due by August 28th of 2021. You will need to contact the clerk of the court in Monroe County
Right.
to determine how you're going to pay the cost. I'm sure they can set up on a payment plan. Otherwise, they're due in full by August 28th of 2021.
That means I don't have to post the bond and I'll be, you let me out now?
That's right. The case is over.
Okay.
Except for the court costs.
Okay.
Okay, you have to pay those. And then you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Derek Leonard Boone Sr.
Mr. Boone, you were here for an out-of-county case out of Pinellas County. It's related to a violation of probation on a reckless driving. The bond is currently set at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender here in Orange County to assist you with this case and coordinating with Pinellas County. I will reach out to the judge who issued the warrant in Pinellas County to see if they'd like to make a modification. Once we hear back from Pinellas County, I will bring you back to court and inform you of what the judge decided. Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
My name is Joseph Bravo Ramos.
Mr. Ramos, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Pinellas County. You have 4 cases. Related to dealing in stolen property. The bond is set at none in that case. Burglary. And 3 cases of burglary. It looks like these are all violations of probation, sir. I will appoint the public defender here in Orange County to assist you in coordinating with Pinellas County regarding your violation of probation.
Now, but I caught all those charges together.
Right.
So that violation of probation is just for one, right? It's not
Well,
like,
it violates so if you have a violation of probation, it'll violate you on all the cases if you're on
Okay.
probation for all of the cases, okay?
Okay.
So you'll have to talk to your lawyer about any types of motions they'd like to file on your case.
All right.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Claude Davidson.
Mr. Davis, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Alachua County. This is a child support writ. The purge amount is $925. I emailed Alachua County this morning to see if they'd like to give you a court date and release you. I have not heard back yet. But as soon as they respond, we will let you know. It's likely there will just be an order entered and you won't be brought back to court. Okay?
I can pay the $900 to get out,
You
right?
absolutely can pay that. But through the COVID pandemic with the child support writs, they've been allowing people to report back to their county
So I got to go back to Alachua County?
if you don't pay the purge.
Okay. All
Okay?
right. Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Tell me your name.
Crystal Lynn Evans Ryan.
Ma'am, you were here for an out-of-county warrant out of Marion County related to a petty theft. Your bond is $500.
Okay.
You also have one related to false report to law enforcement officer. The bond is $1,000.
Okay.
Ms. Evans Ryan, are you going to be able to post that bond?
I don't know. I don't know because I thought my boyfriend was going to do it last night and I'm not out. So I don't know what happened. I don't.
Okay, so I will appoint the public defender here in Orange County to represent you in the case that you're unable to post the bond, and I'll also reach out to Marion County to see if they'd like to make any modifications.
Okay, but
Okay.
right now I can get out on bond in Orange County?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I can, okay, okay. 150, okay. Do I sign or I just go? Oh, thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Victoria Diaz Felix.
Miss Felix, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Sumter County.
Yes, ma'am.
You've got one that appears to be, you failed to appear on driving while license suspended.
Yes,
case.
ma'am. I was in Tennessee. My sister died. I didn't get back to this year, 2 days ago.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, Miss Felix, is I'm going to reach out to the judge in Sumter County to let them know that I saw you this morning, the information you gave me, and to see if they'd like to set a bond.
That would really be nice.
I haven't seen your driving record. Would you be interested in taking a plea on this case?
Taking a plea. What kind of plea?
I don't know, but I would ask the judge who issued the warrant to make a plea offer as
Yeah,
well.
because I come back to resolve this and then have another problem.
Okay. All right. So like I said, I'll reach out to the judge, and as soon as we hear back, we'll bring you back to court.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Nicholas McGalley's behavior.
And I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. McGalley's appearance based upon his inability to come to court due to his behavior. He was arrested on a Miami-Dade warrant. The bond is at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. Ms. Kennedy Swanson, just let me know when you're ready.
Stage ready.
You're ready, great. 20 CF 8920 Michael Figueroa. It's on the add-on.
Is it, you said 8925?
8920.
Oh, 8920. Okay, I was not ready. Hold on.
That's okay.
The state file notice of non-filing on that case.
That'll be granted. 20 CF 8818 Edlin Lucarn.
That should be denied. The state filed information.
That'll be denied.
827.
20 MM 5316 Montravius Alston.
Should be granted a state filed notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 20 CF 8168 Brittany Carroll. Good afternoon, sir.
How you doing?
Good. We're just going to go ahead and get Ms. Labar on the phone, and then we'll proceed with your case.
What's that, ma'am?
We're going to get Ms. Labar, your attorney, on the phone, and then we'll proceed with the case.
Okay.
Oh, she's on, Judge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Labar.
Hi, Judge. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. I have Mr. Perez in front of me, and the state attorney, Ms. Kennedy Swanson, is also present in the courtroom.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is case number 18 CF 3396. This is an out-of-county plea from Seminole County. Sir, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Sir, please state your name and date of birth for the record.
Lucky Dwayne Burris Jr., August 2nd, 1961.
All right. And Mr. Burris, do you read, write, and understand English?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a plea form here that I'm holding. Can you see the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature there on the bottom
Yes,
of the plea
ma'am.
form? Okay. And did you have a chance to read the plea form and review it with an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to ask the attorney any questions that you may have regarding your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that your attorney was able to answer all of your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your attorney explain to you all of the constitutional rights that you will be giving up today if you're to enter an admission to your violation of probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand that you are on probation for a third-degree felony of grand theft, which is punishable. The maximum punishment would be 5 years in the state prison, 5 years of probation, and up to a $5,000 fine. Do you understand that's the maximum
ma'am.
penalty for this offense? I reviewed the affidavit for violation of probation along with the admission of violation of probation form, and the form indicates that you are going to admit that you violated your probation by violating conditions 4, U, and GG. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And the agreement indicated on the plea form is that your prior adjudication of guilt will be affirmed. You will serve 210 days in jail with credit for, how many days does Mr. Burris have? You have to look at it. Okay. Ms. Labar, do you know how many days Mr. Burris has?
I believe he has, oh gosh, at least that amount, Judge. I apologize. Give me just one moment.
Sure.
Ma'am, the 20th of September, I'll have a year in, 365 days. September 20th, I'll have 365 days in.
So what does that mean in terms of days?
What's today's date?
Today is August 28th.
28, 20,
There.
and 3, 23 off of 365.
Miss Tharp indicated he has 352 days approximately, plus whatever time he spent in the Orange County Jail. I don't know the date of his arrest, Judge. It would be 352 plus these days, so I can look that up right now.
So September 20th is when he started,
The last year. Yes, ma'am.
2019.
So he was arrested here on September 9th.
So I have 344 days.
344?
In this county, yeah.
That's fine, Judge.
We'll use 344. Okay. It's more than 210.
Yep.
Okay, so you'll be sentenced to 344 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 344 days time served, sir. Your probation will be revoked and terminated. You are going to have to pay the cost of prosecution, cost of defense, and all mandatory court costs. You are permanently trespassed from the following locations: Lowe's at 110 North State Road 434, that's in Altamont
Yes, ma'am.
Springs, and the Home Depot at 882 West State Road 436 in Altamont Springs.
Yes, ma'am.
Your restitution is going to be reduced to a civil judgment. You've got $518 to Lowe's and $207.97 to the Home Depot. Is that your understanding of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
agreement? Okay, and that's what you'd like to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything different than what I've outlined in court today?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
And by entering into this admission today, you are giving up your right to have a hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
And does the defense stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And I've, again, reviewed all the documents that were provided by Seminole County. At this time, sir, I will accept your plea. I find that it was entered freely, voluntarily, and that you are alert and intelligent, that you understand the nature and consequences of the admission and all of the constitutional rights that you're giving up, that you are satisfied with your attorney, and that there is a sufficient factual basis. I was provided a score sheet with the items from Seminole County. Ms. Labar, did you have a chance to review the score sheet?
I did, Judge. We have no objections to the score sheet.
Okay. Anything from the state before I proceed to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Labar?
No, Judge.
Mr. Burris, anything you'd like to say?
No, I was just wondering if it's done today, is the hold going to be lifted from Seminole County?
Yes,
Yes.
It'll be lifted today?
it will.
Okay. Well, never mind. I don't know whether you can answer. I got a DOC hold, which I got time served on that already too, but it's still in the computer.
All right, well, let me try to address that after I finish
Okay,
with this, okay?
okay.
Anything related to the plea?
Okay, no, ma'am.
No?
ma'am.
Okay. So, sir, at this time, I will accept your admission. I will reaffirm your prior adjudication of guilt, sentence you to 344 days in jail. That's to be concurrent with any and all other incarcerative sentences. You are to pay the cost of prosecution, the cost of defense, and all mandatory court costs. You are permanently trespassed from the Lowe's
Yes, ma'am.
and the Home Depot, as stated before. Your restitution to Lowe's is $518, and your restitution to Home Depot is $207.97. $1,002.97.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what with the DOC hold? Does he have a DOC hold?
I have a,
Hold on, I'm asking this
Okay.
question, and I'll let you respond.
Yes, he does. I'll get with classification because they have to take that detainer off.
Okay, so Ms. Williams is gonna check with classifications as to what that detainer is, because that's who has to take that off.
okay, because I got sentenced to 13 months.
Okay.
August 14th, the DOC sentence was up. And it's been on there ever since. I mean, it's been there the whole time. And and they tell me that it's time served already, but it's still a hold. I'm trying to bond.
Sir, I think what's going to happen is that as soon as you're released from the Orange County, Seminole County case, they'll contact DOC, and if you've done time served on that, DOC will process you out.
I should already be, I mean, if I didn't have any other charges right now, I'm being held.
Right, but
because
you
of
do
DOC.
have other charges?
No, I'm just
so-
saying if I didn't. So if I bond out now, I should be able to be released then.
I don't know what you'd be bonding out on.
On the other, I got another charge in Orange County.
Okay.
So, I mean, I had to bond, that's why
Yes,
I'm
if
trying
you
to get.
bond out on the Orange County case, you'll be released on the DOC if you've already done the time.
Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Labar.
thank you.
Sure, Judge.
All right, have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, sir. You're all set.
Thank you.
What did I give him? 300 what? 44? Huh?
I didn't have this information that when you gave.
Oh, no worries. Ms. Kenny Sons, would you approach and sign the plea form for me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeremiah Baldwin.
Mr. Baldwin, sir. You are here in case number 20 CF 10352. You were arrested for carrying a concealed weapon.
Yes, ma'am.
As probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond is $1,000. I'm revoking the bond in 19 CF 15096. That will be set at none, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Lonnie J. Brummett.
Mr. Brummett, you're here in 20 CF 9749. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for failing to report every 30 days. I'll appoint the public defender in all your cases today in the event that they weren't previously appointed. Your bond in that case is $1,000. I'm not taking any action on 20 CF 4041. You also have a warrant Capias in case number 19 CF 10013. You failed to appear for a status hearing on August 11th of this year. Your bond is set at none in that case, sir. You'll have to have your lawyer file a bond motion in Division 17.
Ma'am,
Sir?
they sent the paperwork for my court date to my old address, 3711 Robbins. I'm at 5866 Elo. They should, and that's the address that they had. They should have sent that mail to my court date to that address. They didn't. I found that out downstairs when you come through downstairs at booking. She told me that the mail went to 3711 Robbins for me to report to court. I never got that mail on Elon, and that's the address.
Did you update your address with the clerk?
Yes,
'Cause
ma'am.
If you don't do that, they
586
won't know where to send it.
Ma'am,
If you don't do that, they don't know where to send
they
it.
had the new address, and the bondsman had the new address. No one notified me of a court date.
Give me one, I'll be right back. Mr. Brummett, tell me what your address is.
Ma'am,
What is your address?
586. Let me get it out here. Well, got it here somewhere. I just had it. This was my mailing address, 5860 Elon Drive.
How do you spell Elon?
ELON, Orlando, Florida,
What's your zip code?
32808.
So that's not what the clerk has for you. They have 4066 Luan. So you never updated.
Luan, yes ma'am. Luan is the other address.
Okay.
Because they sold this house and I moved to Luan, which is right across the street. Yeah, Elon comes like this. Excuse me. Leon's like this here.
I'm not following you. Where do you live?
I'm homeless, but that's where my mail goes to, ma'am.
Which one?
Well, at this time, it's Luan. But the address that the court had to send my paperwork to for court date at that time would have been the Elon address. Elon dead ends to Luan. And I live one house across the street from where I was at. Or my mailing address is one house across the street from there. I check both mailboxes all the time because they sold the house I was at. But the mail went, the lady told me downstairs that the letter for me to report to court went to 3711 Robbins, my old address, and I haven't lived there in over a year.
Okay. So right now, the 5860 Elon is where you're getting your mail.
No, ma'am. The 4066 Luann is where I'm getting the mail.
Okay.
When I got out of jail, it was the 5866 Elon that I was getting mail at.
All right.
But I'm getting mail now at Luan because they sold the house on Elon.
All right, Mr. Brummett, I'm gonna set bond at 500 on count 1 and 100 on count 2.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, it's your responsibility to make sure that you get that mail. Do you understand? Because
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna do that again.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
This is.
What's that closure reviews, John?
All right, that's 2020 CF 10347. I'm finding a waiver of Mr. Clerger's appearance based upon his refusal to come to court. I'll appoint the public defender. He was arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There's probable cause. He is not to return to the 7-Eleven. His bond is $500. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Felton?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Mr. Felton, sir, you were here in 20 CF 10370. You were arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle. Mr. Matos, is there a reason you're standing?
Your Honor, I was just wanted to, Mr. Phelps says he wanted to say something. I just wanted to make sure he got a chance.
Okay. So there's probable cause for the grand theft of a motor vehicle. Bond is going to be $1,000. Mr. Felton, what would you like to say?
So last night, my girlfriend, she was feeling really bad. She tested positive for COVID-19 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
She is 8 months pregnant.
Okay.
So she was throwing up, you know what I'm saying? And I had to take her to the hospital, right? I did not, well, he just told me not to say
Don't
nothing
talk about
about it.
facts.
But,
Yeah.
well, I can't, I gotta explain it.
No objection and no action on the add-on bond case, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. White.
I'm revoking the bond at 19 CF 7699.
Oh,
That's gonna be set at none, sir. Thank
Judge-
you.
Judge Carter, can I say something, please?
I don't think you should talk about your case. I read what's contained in the affidavit, and I am not satisfied that it comports with what you're telling me in court today either.
Miss Carter, please, though.
We're
please.
finished, Mr. Felton. Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Molly Fondario.
This is 20 CF 10355. You were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied conveyance and giving false ID to law enforcement. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond's going to be $1,500 on count 1, $100 on count 2. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Donna Harvey.
Ms. Harvey, this is 20 CF 10356.
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied conveyance.
No, ma'am. No.
No, that's what you've been arrested for.
No, I had a petty theft.
Not
Mo-
today.
Molly had it.
Ma'am, please stop. You're out on bond for petty theft. You've already been arrested for that case. Now you've been arrested for burglary to an unoccupied conveyance.
They told me I had a petty theft, ma'am.
Well,
They caught me
didn't-
coming out of a Big Lots, and the girl that just went in front of you, she had the burglary of a dwellings because she grabbed a bag out of someone else's car.
What's your name?
Donna Harvey.
What's your birthday?
3/29/84.
Okay, there's probable cause for the offense. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count one is $3,500. You're not to have contact with the victim or return to the scene. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 6492. That'll be set at none. Thank you, ma'am.
So that means I can't bond out?
That's right.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
My name is Lawrence Hill, ma'am.
Mr. Hill, you were here in 20 CF 6128. You were arrested for failing to appear at arraignment on August 24th of this year.
Ma'am, can I speak first?
Sure, go ahead.
I've been in contact with Moncrief, the bail bondsman, and the last time we talked to him every week, on the 18th, there still was no court date for me at all whatsoever. I've been checking in regularly for this because I just don't like to miss court dates at all because I don't want this to happen to me. And I was thrown back. I talked to him again last night, and they said the same thing. They had no record of me even having a court date because they contacted me. I talked to Kyle on a weekly basis.
Okay.
They never missed court if I had it. Because I was already out on $400 bond. I don't have that kind of money just to be shelling out.
I'm gonna set your bond at $2,500, sir.
It's $2,500 again. Can they reinstate my bond that I already had? Because
I can't do that, sir. It's already been
there was no
forfeited.
notification at my household or anything. There's
Mr. Hill,
nothing sent to either one of
I don't have
my.
that information. I don't have that. All I have is what's in front of me. I can reset your bond or I can leave it at none. It's up to you.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry. I
I
didn't
said
hear.
I can reset the bond as I did or I can leave it at none. That's up to you.
Okay, resetting it is.
I reset it at $2,500.
So is that I have to pay a whole nother bond all over again? Is that what you're saying? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Good afternoon, Johnny Shahutnell.
Ms. Hundle, this is case number 20 CF 10365. You were arrested for possession of tetrahydrocannabis and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count one is 1,000. Your bond on count two is 100. And I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 4444. That's going to be set at none.
Huh?
Thank you, ma'am.
What that mean?
Your bond was revoked on your out on bond, your robbery case.
Oh, wait, what she said?
Your bond was revoked on your robbery case. Thank you, ma'am.
It was revoked because what?
Because of the new case. Call that number to talk to your attorney.
Just with him.
What?
Yeah, Bobby Ray Jones was refusal.
This is 20 CF 10354. I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Jones's appearance based upon his refusal to come to court. He was arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond is $1,000. Good afternoon, your name?
Lamar Jordan.
Mr. Jordan, you're here in 20 CF 9183. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for robbery, sudden snatching with a weapon. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim or possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond is $5,000, sir. Thank you.
Rosado is medical.
Mr. Matos, do you want to, I'm going to appoint your office, do you want to waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor, that's for Rebecca, correct?
For Ms. Kozub, this is case number 20 CF 10374. She was arrested for drug paraphernalia, altering or destroying evidence, and possession of a controlled substance without a valid prescription. There is probable cause. Bond on count 1 is 100, bond on count 2 is 150, bond on count 3 is 2,500. She's not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. And on 20 CF 9732, I'm going to add random urinalysis testing to that case. I'm not going to revoke the bond, but I'm going to add random urinalysis testing.
Jessica Marchessault is a refusal.
Going to find a waiver of her appearance based upon her refusal to come to court. She was arrested in 20 CF 10377. She was arrested for prostitution, possession of cocaine, and possession of heroin. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent her. She's not to return to the mapping zone. Bond on count 1 is going to be 1,000. Bond on count 2, 150. Bond on count 3, 150. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 7398. That bond will be set at none. Good afternoon. Your name?
Christopher Margrave.
Sir, you're here in 20 CF 10104. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for use of an anti-shoplifting control device, aggravated fleeing and eluding, petty theft with 2 prior convictions, hit and run, and resisting officer without violence. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is 1,000. Your bond on count 2 will be 4,000. Your bond on count 3, 150. Bond on count 4, 100. And bond on count 5, 100. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 5513. That will be set at none. Thank you, sir.
Roxanne Martin is a refusal.
Finding a waiver of Ms. Martin's appearance based upon her refusal to come to court in 20 CF 10329. She was arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Her bond is $1,000. You okay?
Yes.
All right. Mr. McDowell, you are here, you have several violations of probation that are based upon a new law arrest here in Orange County. You have 20 CF 10366. You were arrested for possession of cocaine. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you on all of the cases today. Your bond is going to be $1,000 in that matter. In your Hillsborough County violations of probation cases, those each bonds on each of those will be set at none. And again, I've appointed the public defender here in Orange County to assist you with coordinating with Hillsborough County. Thank you, sir. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
James Moore.
Mr. Moore, you're here in 20 CF 9759. You were arrested for failing to report a name or residence change. This was pursuant to a warrant.
What it was about? I couldn't hear you.
I said you were arrested for failing to report a name change or residence that was pursuant to a warrant.
I did change it at the sheriff's office. I didn't make it to the driver license place.
Okay, so Mr. Moore, or do you live here in Central Florida?
Excuse me?
Do you live here locally?
Yes,
How long have you lived here?
all my life.
Okay, you have family in the area here?
Yes,
You don't have any reason to leave this area?
no,
You're going to appear at all court dates?
Excuse me?
You are going to appear at all court dates.
Yes.
And you're aware that you have reporting requirements when you're released from the jail.
I have what now?
Reporting requirements
Yes.
when you're released?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Moore, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You must appear at all court dates.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Finding a waiver of Ms. Morris's appearance based upon her inability to come to court due to her behavior. In 20 CF 10020, she was arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for burglary of a dwelling with an assault or battery and criminal mischief. Mr. Matos, were you wanting to have the entire Arthur hearing downtown, or did you want the state to have to meet their burden at this time?
Your Honor, I would like the state to meet the burden at this time.
Okay. Ms. Kennedy Swanson, did you want to be heard with respect to count one?
Yes, we believe the defendant should be held at no bond based on proof evident presumption great. She broke into the victim's house. She demanded money that was owed and threatened to get a gun and shoot the victim. She also took a TV off the wall and threw it in the street. Believe based on that, the defendant should be held at no bond.
Mr. Matos?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the affidavit, I know we can't find probable cause once again, but this case law dictates that before you do a burglary or assault battery, you must come in with the intent to commit an assault battery. The victim in this case actually admits that she owes the money to the defendant, and the defendant comes in just to ask for the money. As the argument is heated up, we see that the assault is committed. I'm just asking the court to use discretion to set a bond at this time and make it a bond that's reasonable.
Okay. So I don't think that there is proof evident or presumption grade based upon the information that's contained in the affidavit for the arrest warrant. So Ms. Morris will be given a bond. A bond on count one will be $25,000. Bond on count two is $500. She's not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim, and she's not to possess any weapons or firearms. Correct. Good afternoon. Your name?
Reginald Mouche.
Mr. Mushi, you are here in 20 CF 4059. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for robbery with a firearm and possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Mr. Matos, were you wanting to have the Arthur hearing downtown, or did you want the state to meet their burden at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to have the Arthur hearing downtown. Yes, Your Honor.
That's how you'd like to proceed?
We would like to waive the Arthur hearing, have it downtown. I'm just want some information to get.
Okay, sure. So, Mr. Mushi, at this time, your bond is going to remain at none, or actually is going to be set at none on count one, and will remain at $5,000 on count two. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. And then you're out on bond in several cases. However, the offense date listed in the warrant is January 14th, I believe. Yes, January 14th, which predates all of the cases for which you're out on bond for, so I won't be revoking those bonds today.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll give you a chance to call later.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
My name is Leon Nugent, ma'am. Who am I speaking to?
I'm Judge Carter.
Judge Carter, how you doing?
Good, sir. Thank you. This is 20 CF 10362. You were arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Is he here now, ma'am?
He's standing right next to you.
See, I'm not from out here, so I don't.
I understand. You're from Palm Beach County? Bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2, $150. Bond on count 3, $100. Thank you, sir.
I'll come out over there after I'm done. Yeah, come out. A little bit. Okay. I'll come back.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Good morning. Good afternoon, too.
Tell me your name, sir.
My name is Pablo, Pablo, Pantoja, Pantoja, Rivera.
Thank you, sir. This is 20 CF 10369. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 2 counts of battery. There's probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victims. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $100. Bond on count 3 is $100. And I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 6700. That will be set at none.
I'm sorry, did you say no weapons, Your Honor, as well?
The what?
No weapons and firearms?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
So, I don't understand, so I'm not gonna be able to bond out?
No, sir, you're going to have your lawyer file a bond motion in front of the trial judge to see if they'd like to reset a bond.
Okay, but these people were on my property.
I understand, sir. You're going to have to talk with your lawyer about that, and they can present those facts to the judge in the trial division.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Michael Patterson.
Mr. Patterson, you're here in 20 CF 10221. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for attempted burglary of a dwelling and possession of burglary tools. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jose Luis Polanco Mercado.
Sir, you were here in 20 CF 6718. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for sale and delivery of cocaine and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $100. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. And then the offense date listed in the affidavit is May 22nd, which is the same date that he was arrested on the out on bond case. So I'm not going to revoke your bond.
Is that good or bad?
That's good. You can bond out today.
All right. Thank
All
you
right?
so much.
You're welcome,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Tanisha Price.
Ms. Price, you were here in case number 20 CF 10378. You were arrested for prostitution.
Yeah.
There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, and you're not to return to the mapping zone, ma'am. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I release?
You are.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name? Mr. Prim, you're here in 19 CF 15359. You were arrested for failing to appear for your sentencing date on August 18th of this year. Your bond is set at none, and the public defender is appointed to represent you. Thank you,
I
sir.
have to call this number.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Robert Terrell Smith.
Mr. Smith, you're here in 20 CF 10341. You were arrested for burglary of an occupied dwelling. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Going to set your bond at $1,000, sir. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Stinson?
Good afternoon.
Sir, this is 20 CF 10367. You were arrested for possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is going to be $1,000, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Christian Terry.
Mr. Terry, you are here because you failed to appear for a drug court status hearing in case number 17 CF 1163.
Okay.
At this time, your bond is set at none. It looks like you have to see Judge Whitehead before you can get a bond, sir. And then I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond case. What is that? Driving license suspended. Thank you, sir.
Danielle Thomas's refusal.
That's 20 CF 10379. She was arrested for prostitution. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent her. Her bond is $1,000. She's not allowed to return to the mapping zone. Good afternoon. Your name?
Christina Torres.
Ms. Torres, this is 20 CF 10380. You were arrested for prostitution. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Okay. Do I have a bond?
I'm getting to that part.
Okay.
Ms. Torres, how long have you been living in the Orlando area?
About 10 years.
All right. Ma'am, your bond is $1,000. You're not to return to the mapping area. Thank you.
And ma'am?
Yes?
Also, do I have any holds or anything on me?
I don't see any holds.
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jordan Trent.
Mr. Trent, you are here in case number 20 CF 10348. You were arrested for possession of MDMA and and trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances, sir, without a valid prescription. You're not to return to the 7-Eleven. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. Thank you, sir. Do you have a question?
So, I go home today?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Ivan Villanueva, ma'am.
Sir, you are here in 20 CF 10364. You were arrested for driving a license revoked as a habitual offender. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, you cannot drive a car if you don't have a license.
Yes, ma'am, but I was never driving this car, but it was okay.
I understand, but but you were arrested for doing it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I understand.
And you're already out on bond for the same offense. So I wouldn't even put myself in a position where it could even be looked like I was driving a car.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you
You're
understand?
correct.
Because I don't want to keep you in jail for driving
I
without a driver's license.
understand, ma'am. I understand completely.
Are you working?
I was working as a cutting hair as a barber.
All right, I'm gonna keep your bond set. You have 4 failure to appear. I'm gonna keep your bond set at $2,500, and you are not to drive without a license, and I'm not gonna revoke your bond today.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, I'll find a waiver of Mr. Williams' appearance based upon his refusal to come to court in 20 CF 10301. He was arrested pursuant to a probable cause, capias, for burglary of a dwelling in grand theft third degree. I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. Bond on count 1 is going to be $5,000. Bond on count 2 is going to be $150. He's not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victims. Good afternoon, your name?
Joseph Wozniak, afternoon, Your Honor.
Mr. Wozniak, you are here in 20 CF 10353. You were arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. You're not to have any contact with the victim in that case, and I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 5910. That'll be set at none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else?
I think that's all,
No?
hopefully.
All right, court will be in recess.